question because you directed a movie that's fascinating to me because I love the movie. It became like a pop culture comedy that everybody watches. The movie's Dirty Work, and
Yeah.
it starred Artie Lang and Norm Macdonald. And
Yeah.
the only thing I can think
That's
of
a
is
legendary movie.
how hard was it to direct Artie Lang and Norm Macdonald in a movie?
It was very easy.
Really?
They're my friends.
told you,
I mean, I got Artie the job. I said Norm and I said first thing I get sad because I love Norm very much.
Yeah.
Man.
And I met Norm. Norm was 17. I'm the first comic he ever saw in Ottawa, Canada. I was 21 or 22, and all these years I kept going, how can you not be older than me? And then the last, we were working on something, and it's unfortunate. I was in contact with him a little bit, mostly texting near the end. But when we did the movie, the hardest part was, it's always hard when you're working with writers, especially comedy.
Yeah.
Everybody takes it really seriously because the goal is to make the funniest movie ever made.
And that's
the odds
hard.
of that,
That's hard.
it's really hard. And the movie, we had some great people on it. George Folsey edited it. He had edited Animal House. He did a really good job. But everybody was really good, and it was Chris Farley's last movie, and
Yep.
he was unbelievable in it. He was just unbelievable. And I love Artie so much, and Norm. It was Norm's movie, really. I mean, that's what it was. MGM said, "Let's get into this kind of Saturday Night Live star business, and what kind of movie do you want to make, Norm?"
Yeah.
And it was a spec script written by Frank Sebastiano, who used to write on Saturday Night Live, the news with Norm. And then Fred Wolf is a big comedy writer, also worked on SNL when I met him, and gone on to bigger things. And they were the other writers. And it's hard, but it was. I had no trouble with Norm. It was funny. We had Entertainment Tonight there on the set, and I go over to give Norm a note. We're about to do a scene and do a retake of a shot, and Norm goes, "Why am I taking direction from the dad on Full House?" And he said it loud enough so the ET crew could pick it up. That was the whole deal: just make fun of Bob as much as you can. But it was, it was a gift to do that thing.
Tracy in our Twitch chat room says that she wants Tom and Dan panties.
No, she doesn't.
There was a time when
Because
all
it'll be novel-
good radio shows, all good influencers, you weren't a radio show unless you had a pair of spicy panties on your website. For the ladies that like your show, or the men who like to objectify their ladies, they go to the website, they order a pair of panties like
Panties
Tom
are-
and Dan's Beaver Hunt. And you order the panties, and then we send them to you, and you put them on your old lady, and then you take a photo of her wearing the Tom and Dan Beaver Hunt panties, and then we put her in the Tom and Dan Miss Beaver Hunt contest.
Yeah.
Wait,
what-
it's hot
for
tub
clicks.
and mini fridge.
Yeah.
Hot tub and mini fridge, Beaver Hunt. Beaver Hunt might be copywritten by Hustler Magazine. The only reason I know about Beaver Hunt is from my father. God rest his soul. But my dad, a big fan of Hustler's Beaver Hunt.
Tracy, send an email to Tony and have him start looking up for Tom and Dan Beaver Hunt.
No, hot tub and mini fridge.
Oh, yeah, hot tub and mini fridge.
What are you trying to do? Trying to sink the ship, man? Hot tub and mini fridge,
Yeah.
Beaver Hunt panties. Now, does it have a little beaver on the front that oddly looks very much like Daytona Beach's Bucky Beaver? For Bucky's, that stupid gas station that everybody goes to that I went to, we put a beaver on the front, right? And he's got big buck teeth. He's hi.
Yeah. I seen the meme. It's like all the rest of the world quarantine, Florida.
Yeah, risk it for brisket. You gotta risk it for brisket.
Hey, I'm like, look at that.
Yeah, look at him go. He's a little beaver.
Anyway, Beaver Hunt.
Okay, we're gonna do hot tub and mini fridge Beaver Hunt 2022.
Pat, what there's some things that are traditional for cold weather. like I'm thinking of chili or that kind. Is there something the German
Goulash.
Okay, goulash.
Yes, I love
Hold
a
on
good
a second.
goulash.
Tell me what goulash, because goulash to me growing up.
Don't tell him it's embarrassing.
No,
Stop!
no, no.
Stop!
I already know.
Let's hear the white
No.
trash swamp person goulash
No,
recipe.
Sam, I thought I got away from this. No, you're gonna do
I'll
it.
tell
are
you
No.
swamp. I'll tell you
Swamp
goulash.
goulash.
Is basically just hamburger meat, browned, right, with spaghetti sauce,
Gray
ragu.
meat, gray meat with Prego on it.
Yeah.
And macaroni, right?
Macaroni and cheese, Kraft macaroni and cheese mixed together. My mom was like, "Here's goulash." I loved it. I was like, "Goulash."
Goulash.
Yeah.
It's French.
Yeah.
I do have a handful of people that will call me over to the table and be like, "This ain't goulash,"
Was it my mom?
and I already know. Already know.
Monsieur, I need to speak to the.
Actually.
chef,
Chef,
I think you
please.
got this wrong.
But yeah, so you mentioned chili for cold weather food, and we just did chili cook-off. We came in second.
Hey,
we
nice.
won the last two. We came in second this time.
That's really, really good.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
But my theory on chili is that it's really a German dish that German cowboy immigrants, when they came to Texas, as they migrated west, they took indigenous ingredients, the Mexican chilies, and made their beef stew with peppers, but it was different peppers, so you get chili instead of beef. I don't do beans in chili. We do like whole meat chunks, like smoked beef
More
and
like
smoked
Texas
pork
style.
belly. Yeah, where it's like chunks that shred in your mouth.
Yeah.
Like real chili, I think. And
yeah.
I think it's so much closer to goulash than what we think of chili and goulash.
Dig it. Oh my God, I'm so hungry. I forgot when you
I
guys
know.
come in, I start to freak the blank out.
But
I'm hungry.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, you go up and sit in that rooftop bar and in the
love it.
freezing cold. Yeah, I mean that's a.
So you guys have goulash at the restaurant?
We do have goulash all day, every day on the menu.
And it's more like this.
Yeah, it's a thick stew. It
Beef
comes in a
stew
big bowl. We
hybrid
serve
deal?
it with a nice big slice of rye bread cut in half and some sour cream to mix in. It's so good. It's so good.
Now,
This is some people.
It kicks in. in a second.
I'm curious to how you pick the clips.
Look at the girl. See the girl?
Girl staring off out the
Yeah.
window.
She's sad.
That's-
She's sad.
it's a
I'll
lot of
explain to you.
force.
These are horses running. How does she do that?
Underwater girl.
But she's sideways. How do you do that? How do you make the water stay sideways?
Swimming.
Indian trapped in a barn.
I had to put my little brother made me put that on there.
What is this?
I had to
A
put
dirty
that on there.
mattress.
That's Indian trapped in a
yeah.
barn.
I feel bad for him.
yeah.
My little brother lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and that's his house.
Up jail.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
that Indian in jail.
That's it.
That's this is the
Up, dream catcher.
Dream catcher. Now watch
Dream
this.
catcher.
Well, watch this.
And
Oh, there's good. Oh, and here's a
homeless
guy
person.
begging, and everybody's just
Safety
walking
pin,
by.
safe space.
Everybody's walking by. Nobody, but he's got a cute dog. Oh,
lady twirling a baby.
no, she's actually trying to give the baby away.
Yeah. Hands. Old hands.
Yeah, old hand.
Old
That's
hand.
Mary Louise Johnson's hands right there.
And then kaleidoscope.
I did that.
What
I
is
did that. I had a kaleidoscope and I put
Jeff.
the camera right there.
Now hold on.
No, hold on, it
And
gets
the
better.
book-
Look,
oh,
book.
there's a ghost. He's
These are the
turning
books that
pages.
I read. I read a lot of books.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
a stormy
Oh, watch
sea.
it. Oh, like, and in a
Clarence
second, lands in the
Clemens.
ocean.
And then we have Clarence Clemens.
Yes, but he lost weight.
Then we have
Yeah, I threw it in a little modern stuff.
yeah, it's trippy.
Oh, yeah. Just some
That's
lights.
when he was on the THC.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
like how Jeff just said,
Yes.
I threw in some modern stuff. It's just lights.
yeah, it's just life.
Everything prior to
Yeah,
this,
modern,
older
yeah.
than
Lasers.
lights.
Oh,
Hold
there
on.
we go. That's me going to my
That's
proctologist
a good one.
appointment.
Old,
Yeah.
Old man walks with two.
Your sticks.
Sticks.
Yeah. Wait, see, I didn't get the upgrade in Shutterstock, so I just get the crummy
Did
video
you
shit.
pick each individual clip?
old man with sticks.
That's right. I,
best shit
I typed in
Why?
I typed in
I'm fucking
God.
done.
I should get some sun.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
Ar-
All right, there I am again. The
Arlington
and
Cemetery.
the- wait, oh, now I'm butterfly. I turned
Hold
into
on, you
butterflies.
turned into butterflies.
Keep going. It's artsy.
Hold
Come
on, he turns into butterflies.
Yeah.
Watch this.
You
He's
went
like,
from lady doing ballerina
Yeah.
stuff
To a watch.
to Arlington
the
Cemetery.
cemetery. Yeah.
Sadness.
And oh my God.
That's the
Jesus.
Vietnam Wall. Right
oh my God.
And watch this. Watch this. Then the sun comes up, and then the clouds, and
And then a big mushroom cloud.
yeah, and then the
That's
there was
all,
supposed to be
that's-
horses again.
You missed the horses.
They would have been good with the horses
no.
at the end.
Start. My God. There's a lot of snorting going on.
When they bring you, because all the restaurants, they wanted to show you their biggest and best thing they have to offer. Usually they're like novelty drinks and like menu items.
our 64-course Emperor of the Sea plata.
And when they give you the mega extreme Bahama Mama El Presidente,
This is the El Presidente Bahama Mamacita.
don't drink
The flaming Bahama Mamacita.
That's my drag name.
don't then drink the whole thing and then
On an empty stomach or just on a cheese stick stomach.
and then
Did you get sick on camera?
no
Diarrhea.
Oh, you
But I
got
did crash the boat
drugs.
into a dock drunk because I was shit faced.
He's never admitted that. Mark that.
No, I've told you. And then
No, you've told the story,
from
but
what-
never openly
they're like,
admitted.
this is our King Margarita at 64. I was drinking the whole fucking thing. And then there's a bunch of time waiting because of lighting and shit. I'm like, God damn it. They
You
give me a
just
White
need
Claw.
one sip for the tape.
Well, I'm not
That's
used to it. They give it to me. I'm like, free?
Free, free, 2 by C, free.
I'm driving, so the fucking door.
Reason number 5 why the pilot wasn't picked up.
my God, I'm writing a new song for you.
Guy's a loose cannon.
SoCal Mile, oh yeah.
Crash into Captain Joe's dock, and everybody eating dinner is fucking like, oh shit! The fucking cops down there.
Is that Tom Van from 2 by C?
Oh my God, film it.
Savannah, like, how did you gain the followers in the first place, and then when did the OnlyFans come in? Like,
Yeah.
kind of walk us through your career as an influencer so far.
Okay, so I actually was just a good Christian girl before I started doing OnlyFans. And so like I had no social media following. I thought I was just gonna like share some pictures of me in swimsuits or something on Twitter, and people would instantly want to just see my cleavage so badly they couldn't stand it. And didn't work out like that. But I made like $80 on OnlyFans my first month. So I mean, it was definitely slow to start. And then I started posting really stupid videos on Twitter about just the daily woes of being an online sex worker, just like the stupid, like minor inconveniences you have to deal with, and differences in wieners and things that you have to see all the time. And everyone was getting a chuckle out of that. And then all of a sudden, all the other sex workers started following me, and then sharing my content, and all of their followers started following me.
I love that.
And so it sort of happened on accident, because I was really making those videos just because if I didn't laugh about it, I was going to scream about it.
Yeah, well,
And
you
I
were
very
kind of their voice,
accidentally-
right? Like
Yeah,
you're
you were
kind
being honest about it.
And then these people that are in this area that, you know, obviously this sex working, let's say, sandbox that you're in, doing your sex working and you're doing your thing, and they're in it too, and they're like, hey, this lady's saying what we've all been thinking. Look, and so you become a mouthpiece for these people, right?
Yeah, it was like fake unionizing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of, is that like you're maybe funny and charismatic and are okay with saying those things. Well, not everybody is, you know? And so you're out there doing your things to try and maybe whip up some influence, and they're watching you and they're like, this is great. Here's a person that's basically saying everything that we're thinking, but she's in it and also doing it.
I gotta ask you a director question, because you directed a movie that's fascinating to me because
So, but going back to now, okay, well, screw that. We have to live in a society where divorce is frowned upon.
Sure.
And so, how do you spice up your love life? I've used wigs.
You have used wigs. I've never used a wig before.
You should try it.
Because
here's the thing.
What have I done to spice
Any
up?
sort of okay. Look, you know what the funny part?
You know what
about
I like to
this?
do? I like to make my wife pull her hair. Like she has really, you know, my wife has extremely long
Yeah.
hair, and I like to get her to put it in like a ponytail.
Yeah.
And then I pull the ponytail over, and I put it under her nose like a mustache.
Yeah.
I pretend I'm fucking like a 1940s gentleman.
Do you put her in a striped onesie?
And then I make her sing like in a barbershop quartet. Going down to the riverside, oh Matilda, I love you. And then I'm like, oh yeah, sing that barbershop, push it out.
Don't say push it out.
Hey, boy, that's the good stuff right there. Good stuff. All right. I hope everybody had a good lunch.
Lunch. I had a falafel sandwich.
Yeah, we shared
Ooh.
a falafel.
The new spicy falafel pub sub.
Yeah, the new Publix falafel
I
pub
might
sub.
go to Publix after this.
Pretty solid. Yeah, it's good.
It's either that or Burger King.
Chicken fries.
God, I
Maybe
haven't been to
chicken
Burger
fries.
King since you brought us chicken fries, I think.
Probably should have done that today.
Check. Hey. Hello. Chicken tacos.
Yum.
I sometimes like chicken tacos, but most of the time, if I'm having tacos, I want a beef taco.
Yeah.
I want a ground beef taco. How do
They
you like
are
your?
better.
Yeah, I just think they're better. Like a chicken taco, it always feels like it's missing some depth.
It depends on how they do it. Is
Yeah.
it shredded chicken
If
or
it's
is
shredded and
Or
stewed,
grilled chicken.
Yeah,
if it's
I
shredded
like
and
grilled.
stewed in some juices, I'll accept that. But
Yeah.
I'm talking about
And
hard
seasoning,
shell,
yeah.
hard shell taco. If you put grilled chicken in there, to me it's a little dry.
Yeah.
How do you feel about pork?
Love it.
Pork.
Especially Gringos.
Yeah.
I typically go pork tacos, double D's.
I mean, at Gringos, their pork is
Yeah,
yeah, that's the way
something.
to go
It's
for
hidden.
Gringos.
It's hidden. A lot of people just
made
go.
a mistake and ordered pork tacos
know.
at a different place downtown this
Oh,
weekend, and
yeah,
they
can't
were
do that.
awful.
Yeah.
Dry,
Well, that's the
no
thing.
flavor.
That's the thing is that
Yeah.
pork can be hit or miss.
Yeah, seasoned beef, I feel like very hard to be
screw that up.
disgusting. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people will say, and I've heard this, not a lot, but I've heard this from some people, like, I'm not sure I like Gringo's beef because it's a little sweet. Well, a lot of taco places, and I've tried almost every single one in this city, and some of the better ones, even some of the roadside, because I don't look at Gringos as being like authentic from Mexico. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
it is a street like flavor.
Well,
It
it's
is-
called Gringos.
Right.
There you
go. You know what
White
you're
people.
getting.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, I like all their meats. But man, there's little taquerias. Like a lot of their meat will be sweeter. Or it might even have like a chocolate,
cinnamon or a brown sugar.
cinnamon
yeah.
flavor. Yeah, and then you'll be like, ooh, well, then just don't eat tacos. Then
Yeah, because
if
I
you're gonna
usually
do that.
make Thea Cinesticks in the morning, and we reheat sometimes our chicken in the toaster oven, and it sits on top of the Cinesticks. Dude, it's delicious.
Cinnamon, yeah,
Yeah, fried chicken with a little bit of cinnamon on it.
It's funny.
It's
'cause
surprisingly good.
cinnamon in the meat. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. All right, we're gonna do this. I just want to make sure I don't cheat.
So now
you.
we are
Hold on.
switching this, right? So this will be 3 and 4?
Yes.
Okay.
Got to get your song right. Uh-oh, what did I do here? Did I not do this? Hold on, I might have done something wrong. Hold your horses. Are your horses held? All right, let's see how loud this bitch is. How loud are you, bitch?
Jock.
All right. Move it up for the taller guests. They need a little more headroom on the shot. Mr. Van, would you like to begin?
Yeah.
This is tonight 1 and 2 or 3 and 4.
Now it'll be 3 and 4, yeah.
3 and 4. Here we go. 3.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan.
Whose phone was that?
My Pokeball went off.
Oh,
Smash it. Smash it right now.
Like, did
Smash
Farabella
it right
swing
now.
by?
I mean,
I sometimes put it between my legs.
Smash it right now.
My
Smash
When I'm
God.
driving.
come on.
My old
That's
producer feelings are come
embarrassing.
smash it.
I knew it as soon as it went
We
off, I was
should
like, uh-oh.
smash it right now and
mean,
let the tears be
loud
the
as
lesson.
hell.
Let your
No.
tears running down your cheek be the lesson for you being an incompetent, unprofessional fool of a man. God damn it.
How would you actually be sad if we smashed your Pokeball?
He would be. And it look how
He
ugly
might not
it
ever
is.
come back.
Look how ugly it is. It's beat.
I've worn it down. It used to be red and white.
It doesn't even look like a Pokeball anymore. In fact, I'd like to
What is that?
smash it just to buy you a new one because
I
it's all got crap.
I have a backup just in case if this
Usually-
one dies. But this thing still works, and it's fantastic.
What is
God.
It helps me play Pokemon Go when I'm doing stuff. Like, I don't have to look at my phone. I can
Yeah,
just hit
so
the button.
anytime a Pokemon, which is not real, is wandering within the geofence of your phone, it'll vibrate and let him know, hey, nerd, you can't see it, but there's a Snorlax out the door. Hit the button and you'll catch it. Got to catch them all.
Well, doesn't that take any sort of
When I'm not, it's so I can play when I'm not really playing. So I can do this at the same
No,
time.
what
I'm
Tom
still
is
playing
saying
Pokemon.
is why would you want to play when you're not really playing?
It's the grind because there's a grind with Pokemon
Okay,
Go.
he does respect
And
the grind. You're
reason
pulling
why-
him back
I don't
in.
respect this grind. I know. I promise I don't.
How do you?
I don't respect this
I
grind.
need the Stardust and the candies.
That's
for
like
these
calling
guys.
sleeping a grind.
It is a grind.
Okay, now we are touching on something that we could talk to, but I bet you if you talked to Tommy and Max and talked about the nonsense that they do in Roblox that you don't understand, none of us do, there is a nerd grind to it of collecting the
Minecraft,
coins, collecting the bits, collecting the blocks, digging the hole to nowhere. But it's a grind.
The grind has to be beneficial to you in some way
It
to
is
be a
beneficial
real
to me.
grind.
Yeah.
It is not. It is not beneficial at
You
all.
made
I'll
him
explain.
so mad. You made him so mad.
Because
This is my favorite thing to do.
because fantasy
Oh.
is not beneficial.
Oh, J.R.R. Tolkien can
Wow,
attest that's not
man.
true.
It's entertaining.
Wow.
Right? And entertainment could be
beneficial.
psychologically
Good for your mental health.
benefit, right?
Yeah.
But entertainment should be consumed in
You gotta
smaller
sing, you gotta
chunks.
dance, you need the X
I
Factor.
have to do it exactly the way you want, is what you're saying.
So no, what I'm saying, the entertainment can't be a grind, right? Because then
it's work.
Then it's work, and then it cancels out the entertainment part of it. Entertainment
Okay.
is not supposed to be a grind, right? You could all agree with me
I would
there.
agree
right?
with
What if you're playing a video game
Yeah.
Well, you could
and
play.
you got to beat a certain level?
Yeah.
You got to grind it out till you beat that level.
Yeah.
There's a satisfaction in
okay,
that for sure.
well, yes, but there's also you are learning. You are playing a video game.
You're getting
and
better.
It's a puzzle.
You're gaining
right?
skill too.
And you're playing that level, and then you are figuring out how to beat
Yeah.
it.
You're
And
gaining
trying,
knowledge.
You're trying over and over, and through repetition, you figure out like little tricks and tips, and then you finally beat it. You achieve something.
He learned some
Okay.
tricks by buying this
Yeah.
ball.
No,
and
no,
the trick
No,
is,
what Tom is
He-
saying, he's referencing the intuition that you learn from the game of
That will
playing
get
the
you
puzzles.
smarter.
Right.
That will help you figure out
This is just
puzzle.
his pressing
I
the
would
button.
This is
I'm picking up what
I
you're
stand
laying
with
down.
EJ. I watched him walk around in the rain for 2 hours.
You know what?
But it's not
I
But
believe
that's
what
when I'm actually playing. That's not me pushing the ball. So
Well,
that's different.
then what
That's
Tom
all right,
is-
though. You found a
This is
workaround.
so I don't get
So what-
distracted while I'm driving.
so what
this
Tom
is just
would
pushing a
say-
button so I can still drive and do
What
this at the
Tom
same
would
time.
say is he respects the grind of the grind, but this, sir, sitting there with a vibrating ball on your genitals in our studio and then hitting the button, that's not a
Yeah,
grind.
yeah. It's not you're not getting better. You're just pushing a button when it
Actually,
vibrates.
You're
It's-
wrong.
I
You're
would-
cheating.
cheating.
That.
You're
I would
cheating.
argue
I'm
you're
getting Stardust
worse.
and I'm getting candies.
You're getting
for
worse.
Pokemon I can build up
Stardust
later.
and candy.
Yeah.
Oh my God! I can't even look at you. I can't even look at your eyes.
Do you really want to argue about?
You know what? I
we haven't even
Stardust and
started
candy?
Nerd Jock yet.
I honestly, we haven't even played the intro.
Yeah.
I honestly feel like we should smash the Pokemon and flush her head in the toilet.
I like to see
You have
guys
sons,
try.
goddammit!
I have a son and a daughter. You have sons.
Get to work.
Rick Scott. That was Rick Scott 20 years ago. All right, you ready to do this? All right.
Nerds. Nerds. Nerds.
Jock, nerd, jock, nerd.
It's Nerd Jock with EJ. How you doing, EJ?
Good, man. I'm looking forward to this
Look at that.
weekend.
Look at this professional.
Calm down.
Turn it on, turn it on, turn it on, turn it on. What do you need? What do you
There's
want?
a switch right there, man.
Goddamn professional over here.
Like,
Follow
I'm
me.
definitely going to do a Nerd Jock this weekend. My son has a jiu-jitsu tournament, and I'll be playing Pokemon Go while I'm there.
Oh, no, you're...
No, you have sons. Don't let them see. Your sons are doing something way
Yeah,
more
supposedly,
amazing.
I just told him I only have
Your
one
son's-
son and a
Your
daughter.
son's in a
and he keeps on
jiu-jitsu
saying son.
tournament.
Who's that over there? That's our weirdo nerd dad.
He's pressing his Pokeball.
Yeah, he's over there pressing his vibrating ball.
That's all he could do. He'll be in a wheelchair soon.
wasn't the Pokeball like that made for people that are handicapped? Aren't
No.
you effectively using a handicap tool to cheat the system? That's what Tom told me.
No, that's the rocker you guys bought me. That's what cheating system
Is that?
really,
Do you still
that
use
was
it?
Oh yeah,
It's
for
your
sure.
most prized possession, right?
I have one at
Best thing
home
we ever
and
got
one
you?
at work. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, you're welcome,
Yeah.
man. All right, let's jump into you. You have really shaken
Okay.
the core of
I
one
think
Thomas.
then I
Chisholm
got to go to
fan.
the first story. It has to be nerd because I got to talk about Ash Ketchum finally winning the Pokemon tournament in the anime.
Ass catching the
Ash Ketchum.
Ass Ketchum.
Yeah, I saw. We're like old men. We're like ass catching what?
He's been 10 years old for 25 years and he finally won a tournament.
So the Pokemon inside the Pokemon universe,
anime,
the
yeah.
character of Ash
Ketchum.
Ketchum.
Yeah.
Got to catch him up. That's pretty funny. All right, never put
Yeah,
that
yeah.
together. I'm an idiot. So
It's not even creative. It's a Weird Owl of video game puns.
Let me now remind you that you just called someone Sammy as a random
Yeah.
character in your schemes
Well,
while looking at me.
I mean, if I had a
Your
little
improv
bit.
is failing.
let's say we
as
have
you get
two
older.
people playing Pokemon. Let's call one Tom, one Dan.
Well,
Yeah,
if you
real
gave me the lunchtime to figure out a more creative name, I would have figured it out. I'm just saying, it feels like the Pokemon franchise had a longer time to figure out what the guy's last name was instead of Ketchum, because it's got to catch them all. Like, let's just call them all. Catch them all. Stupid.
So
I just wanted to bring up that story.
So
just 'cause it
within
made
the
me lose my mind.
Pokemon universe,
Yeah, he
for the
used to-
first time in 25 years,
He would
30
be
years.
in tournaments in like Kanto, Johto. He finally won the Alolan tourney.
Oh, there's
Yeah.
different.
There's different regions of
Kanto,
the game.
Jolo, Flo,
Yeah.
Boro, beep, beep, boop, boop, but this is how you Marvel turds sound like. I beep, beep,
There's
Iron Man.
Galarian. There's tons of different kinds. Yeah. He used to get like
I
runner
wanna
up. He'd be in the
flush.
top 4.
I want to flush them all in the toilet. Like, it makes me so mad.
How much could we pay you right now to flush your Pokeball down the toilet? Like cash money. How much would it take?
Oh, how much you got on you right now?
Okay, I got some. Let's see.
No,
Well, that's what I'm gonna say.
I
Throw
had
out
to
a
go
number,
get-
and I'll decide
I-
whether or not it's
I had to
willing.
go get cash yesterday. Do you know the only time we use cash is when we scramble and we're like, God damn, the fish tank man's here. We got to tip out the fish tank man. Who's got cash?
Yeah.
All right,
And
let's
then
see what I got.
I have this key box underneath my desk, like an old mobster. I take out.
And then he
I don't
goes,
think you should
it's
be telling this
and
on the
then he says
radio.
the
Or there's
oldest
nothing in it.
You want to know the oldest old man thing that either of us say, and we both say it. I'll say to him, I'll be like, "Oh man, fish tank man's here. Check in petty cash.
Yeah,
I like
Check
petty
in
cash.
petty cash. What are we, an old church?
Yeah, but
Nobody has a drawer with petty cash.
You know what? Surprisingly, a lot of businesses still do. Like
Really?
our law office still has a petty cash every once in a while. Yeah.
I still don't know what you do.
do they
You have
forget to
like-
fill it up like we do?
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah. It's
we
just
did
a-
it one time 10 years ago, and then every time I'm like, check the petty cash. I bring out the metal
You know
box,
what's
I
in
open it up.
there? You know what's in
There's
there?
a bunch of
It's
receipts.
receipts. Yeah, receipts. Yeah, usually.
And then old sleeves to money that
Well-
we got at Western Union.
Oh my god.
Yeah, like it looks like whoever owned the lockbox that we have needed to get the hell out in a dash.
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
gotta get the hell out. Okay, I've got 20.
I'm
I've got
thinking-
30, 35, 40,
What's half a PlayStation
45.
5? Would be
I have
about,
$47.
Will you
on
take
me.
$47
$47
to flush your
No.
Pokeball
Dude, I
down
bet
the-
you
Dude,
could buy a
Pokeball-
new one for $47.
No, you can't. They discontinued them, so you can't like get
Well,
them. Like
that's,
the only ones.
then
that-
they're worthless.
Then they're
if it's-
garbage.
God, we're having a day. I might hug you today.
I was
on the
gonna
same
say maybe
wavelength.
300. I would probably.
300.
Oh my
That's
God!
embarrassing.
I'd
You
sooner
gotta-
walk out of here. $300. I'm
get-
insulted.
You got to take into account that how much I use it and how much it like prevents me from doing stupid things like playing on my phone.
I
while
don't think it
driving.
has any. I don't think it prevents you
Yeah.
from doing. Only thing it prevents you from doing is exercising.
No, that's the rocker.
You
this,
are-
this actually makes me do stuff. I'll
You are holding a diabetes ball.
like we went to
And
Disney.
every time you push it, it makes your feet a little bit more purple.
The hardest part of the Pokeball is you not eating it. Not candy, dog. That's not candy.
Because we went to Disney Springs this weekend, and my wife did the trees there. And you know how like there's a map.
God,
you can
you
get?
and your wife trim the trees at Disney Springs. Oh my God! You pull up in the car, you sit in the car, you
Yeah.
keep the engine running.
But dude, they have these like specialized trees, and each one has their own theme. And like, there's one for Black Panther, there's one for Raya, there's one for Guardians of the Galaxy, and you can go and get a map, and they have these little stickers. You can go and you do the map and put the stickers where they
Festival
go.
of Trees?
Yeah, the Festival of Trees. Yeah,
all right.
and then you get a button at the end. So. We did that this weekend. I was playing Pokemon the whole time. At the same.
I saw on the trees, so I got a button. My dad would blow your head off if you said, my dad would go, come here.
Yeah, this is what my papa
would blow your head off.
Dude, the Black Panther tree is awesome.
I
That's right
bet.
in front of the Marvel
I bet. I
store.
heard the
It's
movie's awesome. I
Yeah.
can't wait to see
Well,
it.
Yeah, that's on the
And now
segment,
that
yeah.
Black Panther's on Disney Plus.
I mean, what is it?
I'm gonna.
What,
is it
Wakanda
just-
Forever, the new one?
No, the
Or
tree.
The trees.
Is
Each
it
one
just a Christmas tree?
Is a Christmas tree, but
They're
each
themed
one's
out.
themed out. So each one has its own theme.
Your boys
like,
would
there's
like
a
it.
Make-A-Wish tree. There's a Guardians of the Galaxy. What was the one that was? There was a Mickey Mouse tree. There's tons of them.
But
There's,
the
I
Black
think there's
Panther
like
tree,
30 of them.
is it just a Christmas tree with Black Panther ornaments
with stuff
on
on it? Yeah,
Yeah,
like it
yeah.
has Bass, the Panther god on it. Dude, it's amazing.
And they do the lights to match it. It's probably darker
yeah,
and like
yeah.
more mysterious.
There's like
and-
old cassette tapes on the Guardians of the Galaxy tree.
They try to
Dude,
tie it all
they,
up.
They do a really good job with it.
I've seen
Like,
other people because
yeah.
the Guardians tree I think is one they've done before, but they'll
Yes.
take the tape out of the tape
And use that as
that
tinsel.
as the
Yeah.
garland or tent. Yeah, they do creative.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's cool. It's cool, especially for
If you
kids.
get a chance, it's a really worth doing. It doesn't cost you any money to get into Disney Springs. You just got to go out there. The only time is I would say go early on a Sunday morning when it hasn't opened yet, and then there won't be as many people there. That's the trick.
It doesn't cost me money, but it costs me a lot of a little portion of my life.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Crystal and your kids would love it.
If only you had a Pokeball
You're
that you could
telling
press
me-
the button
I
to
know.
experience the trees.
You guys
around
see,
you.
I'm grinding at the same time I'm doing that, so I'm entertaining
that don't-
myself and I'm walking. I'm getting exercise.
Okay, you're
How
grinding.
dare you?
So what do we got
Grinding
first?
your
Can we
shoes
go to
down to
sports
a nut.
first
Yeah.
and then go back
Yeah.
to the nerd?
You wanna
I
go
need
back
I need
you need a palate cleanser?
Palate cleanser.
Okay, let's talk about the World Cup then. That's
All
going
right.
to be
Yeah.
they're doing it in the winter this year, which
I like
because they're
it.
going to do it in Qatar because
I
there's
don't like
no way
that.
you could do it in the summer.
I don't like that I think it was a mistake, and like
yeah.
a lot of people.
So much corruption.
Seth Blatter came out and said that the whole the awarding it there was just a mistake. Why did we do this?
Yeah.
I mean, it just sucks because the humanitarian aspect of something that is so important in the biggest sporting event of all time. Trying to explain that to Maisie too, she's already indoctrinated into like NFL football, which is so funny that this happens just from living, just because of our country, like nothing other than she's like, so this is more popular. I mean, yeah. I'm like, to everyone else, like including like now us. This is
Yeah.
the largest sporting event
in the
you will-
world.
you
Yeah,
will
I-
ever see.
I've told my sons about
They
it
don't
on
get
the
it.
ride to school, and then
Well,
I'm like,
Maisie doesn't get it.
and I'm like, the World Cup every 4 years, it's the whole world competing to see who the best country is, and then they're like, oh yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
she started chanting USA, so she's
yeah,
all
yeah, but
about
I'm
that.
like, USA stinks.
do you think we'll get
And
out
they're
of
like,
I
it?
didn't
what?
tell her that. I didn't tell her that.
Oh,
yet.
you didn't tell her? You didn't
No.
tell her the
I
truth.
couldn't break her. I couldn't break it to her,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
She
Do you
was
think we'll
so
get out of our
happy.
group?
I'm like, they'll never make
Because
it.
we're in the group with England, Wales, and Iran.
Well, if any, okay,
Iran?
Yeah.
It's weird that we're in a group with England and Wales. I would say are always
They're pretty good.
they could
usually.
always do
Yeah.
it. They could surprise you. I think we're better than both of those teams, though. We got a young squad. I don't know anybody on there. I maybe one person.
So what's the time difference? Because I did tell my sons, I was like, we'll watch the USA play, but it could be at a weird time.
3 a.m. No,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's like 8-hour difference.
Yeah,
'Cause, like, it's
Russia-
usually 5 hours
it'll be
difference in
mornings.
England, so I think it's another 3 hours
I think
back.
it's all morning, so
It's
we're
all
gonna
morning
we're gonna
games.
get what we got when we were betting on it and had it on the TV and we're like like screaming and betting on it.
Well,
it was
that
awesome.
that was different. Like 8-hour difference. It seems like that's going to be early morning. Like we're not even going to
Like
be in
4 a.m.
in
probably.
the in the damn
Depending on
studio
what
yet.
time the games are.
Yeah, I don't
usually,
know. I don't know. We'll see. But I was talking to my wife, and normally she figures this stuff out, and she was like, "I think it's going to be mornings where you guys will get to do what you did before." The Russia stuff was hard. It was hard to catch games when it was in Russia in
Yeah.
2018 because of the time change. So I don't know. I don't know how
It's
the
8 hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
So it may be.
I got that right on a
like,
guess.
If it usually what time the World Cup games? That's the thing. I forget the schedule every 4 years because I haven't so
It's
over.
not like football where it's always at 1 o'clock and there might be that early game
Yeah,
at
I'm like,
9:30
do
in
they-
the morning in Germany or whatever.
Do they like typically play the games
Do they
in the
start at
afternoons
noon?
or
Yeah,
the nights?
I don't know.
I think
That's
it's
soccer,
always,
yeah.
as I remember, the daytime games.
Usually, like, aren't they like afternoon games so people can go to the pub first and then
Yeah.
go to the game?
Like I don't remember them playing at night per se. I don't know.
Every
Like,
that's
I
why
always
they play
forget.
tonight, yeah.
Anyway, I'm excited though, especially
Yeah,
for
so I like
the
watching the
element.
World Cup. Yeah, especially because it's going to be during Christmas time. Like I think the first game is the 21st of this month.
20th.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
at the end of November is when it starts. The unfortunate thing is I'm hearing a lot of people that are saying, well, that's when everything goes crazy in football. I ain't going to be able to watch everything. And it's like, well, we're just lucky to
You
have
get to watch
it.
everything at the
Yeah.
same time. That's the best.
Yeah, I like it when
Yeah.
you can watch. I actually liked it this year when you
Having
were able to
choices when
do.
you watch?
We were able to do basketball, baseball, and NFL and MLS.
See, I was on my iPad watching Red Zone while we were doing the Christmas tree stuff
Yeah,
too.
it's
so
fun.
it was fun to do.
Who's favorite? I haven't got into it yet.
I don't know
I've been
that, yeah.
I've been waiting to start listening to some gambling podcasts about
Usually
it.
Brazil's usually favored most
Yeah,
of the time.
but I did hear my wife's
Argentina.
already betting on it.
Yeah.
You should talk to Andrea. Andrea already has in a bet.
Yeah.
She has a bet for, I think she went for like heritage powerhouse teams. So she may
Yeah,
have
like
done
Italy and stuff like
I
that,
think
yeah.
well, Italy's not in it.
Oh, they're not in. Oh, yeah, they did.
They went I think Andrea went Brazil, Argentina 3-1. And she already put her bet in
For what? Like for who? The
for a final.
the
or so-
final?
Yeah,
win it,
or
yeah.
group
Oh,
final.
she's doing it all wrong.
Yeah,
you
well,
don't bet that far ahead.
I don't even know. I don't even know.
No,
how
Maybe
to
she
you're
do
knows
it.
the
horrible.
odds. Maybe she's getting.
I don't
No,
know.
she doesn't.
Oh.
No, I'm just saying.
Tell her,
Good
tell
luck
her.
with that.
No, but
Tell her, Tom.
it's too far ahead. And
No, she went Brazil, Germany. Sorry, she's in the
Okay.
chat room. She went Brazil, Germany.
Yeah, those are
3-1.
long. Those are scratch-off ticket bets. You'll never win
50-50, 3-1. Yeah.
those. No. Those are a huge underdog to win that. You're statistically unlikely to guess the final.
And then she said her tip to you is Belgium, to watch Belgium. There's a team
long shot?
not a long shot. They have quality.
Okay.
And if they rise to the occasion, they could maybe hurt some people and kick some people out. So it'll be fun.
So what's next?
Okay, next, we definitely got to talk about Kyrie Irving still is under suspension for that video he posted. Did you hear about that on Twitter?
Well,
it wasn't the video. It was like
it was a
clip,
link to
link to
right?
the show
Yeah,
or
well,
a book.
I don't want you to.
Yeah,
I
mess
don't
it
want
up.
them to yell at you, and
Yeah.
they're about to. You're getting it wrong. He put a link to a movie. I think it's called From
Black-
Hebrews to Negroes or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's some anti-Semitic stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he, I don't think he said one way or the other anything about it. I think he just put the link. I'm just trying to get the news
Yeah.
story correct. And that's why he was suspended.
Yeah.
Because they gave him a list of things that he had to do. I think it was basically homework. He had to do all these things before they would release him from his. It's a team suspension, not just the league.
Right.
Yeah.
I like Dave Chappelle's SNL joke that Kanye got in so much trouble.
He got
Kyrie in trouble.
I
It's
did
funny,
like that joke. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously he'll be suspended for issue the apology and go
Yeah.
through the whole thing, right?
I don't know. Kyrie's a weird guy. He's the flat Earth guy that always was saying that stuff. He's out there with stuff. He says.
Is he bipolar too?
I don't know.
Something's got it. We're like, why are you doing this to yourself, you fool? You know what I'm saying? Like,
some people feel like they gotta make a stand. Some people
or
feel
make
like they got
waves
something
and
to
stuff
say.
like that, yeah.
I have never
look
been
like
the
a
type
fool.
I've never been the type of person where I've ever felt like I have something to say. I don't.
Well, especially when it's racist or anti-Semitic
Anti-Semitic or,
or
yeah.
like
Or
not
sexist.
fully thought out.
even
Yeah.
even if you believe that stuff,
Not
like,
fact.
you are aware that by saying it on Twitter or out loud,
Yeah.
or you're gonna get backlash, and it's gonna negatively affect you, your career, your family, everything.
I mean,
so
this-
why are you doing it?
Okay, like I'll give you a for instance.
You're an idiot.
Damn near 10 years ago, less than that, but close, you and I were working for the MLS franchise when I believe we were sitting in one of the offices when Dom Dwyer fired off a tweet that affected the team. And they shut it down so quick and they deleted the tweet and he got in trouble. We watched it all unfold and it was rapid fire. So
What was
my
it about
point,
again?
he just said something
Was it like the Battle of the Sexes where Billie Jean King and because we watched that. Me and my wife watched that video this weekend.
He didn't say anything that would be unbecoming of him. He just said something that you shouldn't say. And my point is that this is like 10 years ago. We all know that if you do this, we all know that X plus Y equals Z, right?
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah.
know the equation.
You're gonna get repercussions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my point is like even without knowing any of the other facts, I don't need that.
Yeah.
And if he wants to tell his truth, if that's how he feels, please, by all means, you're
not
allowed
free
to
from
do that. Yeah.
consequences, though.
You
What's
are
the
free
problem
to
with
do
that?
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when people start pulling their their funding of you and pulling their support of you, I mean, you also can dig your heels in.
Yep.
You can dig in and you can double down and keep continuing that. That's fine. You're allowed to do that. And if you truly feel like you should, I think you should.
Yeah.
I just think maybe you want to think about it a little bit more. We all know the equation.
guess-
We all know what happened.
Listen, I want everybody to say how they really feel so we could.
That's the reason why I believe
weed it
freedom of
all
speech
out.
is that way. Yeah, freedom of speech is
Yeah.
so you know who the idiots are.
Or you're like, oh, this guy's a bad person. You know, like
Yeah.
it'd be a lot better if we all did that. But
Yeah.
the people that do that, and then are surprised by the repercussions of it,
Yeah.
maybe he's not. I don't know, but
Yeah.
idiot. All right, well, what's
Okay.
next?
Well, we got to go to another sad story. Did you hear about the Virginia shooting?
I don't know the details. I read
It's crazy.
I read a little bit of it, but it's not the type of story that once I know what's happening, I'm not going to dig in.
Yeah,
'cause
I
just-
only dig in because of the story. Like, they were on a bus ride to go see a play, and on the way back, that's when the shooting happened. It was a former player for Virginia's football team, and he shot 5 students. 3 of them died, and one's in critical condition, the other one's like stable condition. And it's
Did your Pokeball tell you to pick the story?
Yeah.
I just
God, your
no, no.
Pokeball just
But
sucked
it's
all
one
the
of those
energy
stories
out of
where,
me.
like,
Quick, hit your
it's
button and wake me
scary.
up.
Sports and nerd stuff. Like, I don't know
Hey,
what
you want to hear about the quick? Hit the Pokeball. It's got an unlimited
I had a plan for
children
this.
dying
Let's bring
story.
up the shooting. Super sad that what are we supposed to say? to
I
them?
wish
Like,
if
oh my
I-
God,
it's
it's
super sad.
horrible.
If I
Okay.
pressed your Pokeball, I wish you'd get shot right now. God damn! What are you doing?
okay, then let's go to NFL. All right.
Okay,
We
thank
definitely-
God.
yeah.
I've been waiting. Can I just take it over?
The Pokeball works.
So how would you do on your betting this weekend?
Not too bad, but the betting
no,
this year, the betting this year has been weird.
It has been weird, like especially with last night's
Wait a
game.
minute. I thought in
Eagles
gambling there's
losing to
either
the
good or
Commanders.
bad.
Yeah,
Like-
sometimes it's weird.
I feel
Well,
like
with
that's
the
what
book-
people
This
that are
way
in the
he's
bad
never
say.
up or he's never down. He's like, I'm in the middle.
My advantage teasers that were working last year have not been working this year. That I have to pay at the
My
bookie.
teasers aren't working.
It almost seems like everything balances out in the end.
I feel like a
Or
stripper
you
would yell
lose.
that from the
Always.
Yeah, but the advantage teasers are supposed to statistically win over time as long as you do it right. Anyway, my question, EJ, is to
Okay.
you because you have a more understanding about how a football team works
Is running
internally.
behind the scenes.
Yeah, he
Because-
also has a Pokeball.
Yeah.
I know. You was kind of. I don't even want to ask you. I gotta ask Sam. She knows.
Yeah, she does.
What's going on?
Yeah, ask
If
Sam.
you're talking about the Tampa Bay team, definitely talk to Samantha. But
So
generalities, I'm
I'm
better.
fascinated by this Jeff Saturday thing, right?
Oh, him getting picked out of nowhere to be the interim head coach.
So for those
If
who
he's
don't know,
your ice cream sundae.
Yeah. If they fire Mario Cristobal, it'd be like them hiring me right now.
I'm sorry. I had
No,
that
well,
loaded. I had that loaded.
It's not necessarily like that. And Daniel's right. We were talking about this in lunch, where Jeff Saturday was NFL center for 12 years, Pro
Yeah.
Bowl center.
Complete
like,
badass.
Played in 2 Super Bowls.
you could make an argument that he's
he
one of-
has the pedigree to
Top
be
tier.
that guy.
one
Yeah.
of the best centers of all time, or
Yeah.
at least maybe a
He's
Hall
the
of Fame
captain
center.
of the
Man,
offensive line.
I've heard some people winging out
Yeah.
their a best center of all time. I've heard.
I would put him up there. He's definitely Hall of Fame for sure.
Working with Peyton Manning,
Yeah.
one of the best QBs of all time, smartest. You know,
I
so
also
there's a lot
like
of
his
things.
hair. Can I give him a? I like his hair.
So
He's got
I
floppy.
hated every person that hated on him being the head coach. Like Bill Cowher was talking crap about
I
it.
was- yeah,
there was a
don't
couple
know-
of them.
I don't know enough about
No,
him
but
to
I-
make a play on an opinion.
See, what this is interesting to me because I'm sitting back and I'm watching it, and for those of the people that don't know the story, they fired the Colts head coach Frank Reich,
Yeah.
and basically the owner brought in Jeff Saturday, who was a media person,
Not Frank Lloyd Wright.
and
No, not the architect.
and who apparently, and I know like why that rant from what's his name,
Bill Cowher.
Bill
yeah.
Cowher,
the former Steelers coach.
He was kind of mad because they offered him an opportunity to come in the organization a while ago. He denied. He wanted to go be in media, and then so his argument was, why didn't you promote internally? Like these other coaches have been working their ass off, dedicating their life to this, and this guy, you just and so
Bill Cowher said, "You know what? I don't trust a man whose last
He
name
said
is
it's an
what
insult.
animals do when they're scared."
So anyway, they bring
He's a
in
good coach,
Jeff
though.
Saturday, who's former center for 12 years
Yeah.
and analyst. He did coach high school football for like 4 years or something like
Yeah,
that,
after
but
he
that's
retired,
the
yeah.
only coaching experience he's ever had. And what's even more impressive is the play caller, who also left, got fired after the head coach got fired.
Yeah.
They asked around internally who wants to call plays. They asked the quarterback coach. He didn't want to do it
Yeah.
because it didn't come with a raise or any promotion
more
or whatever.
work and more
Yeah.
stress.
Oh my God!
And so-
that's the radio model.
So yeah, it is. So they brought the assistant coach, the assistant QB coach,
Yeah.
to call plays. First time he's ever done it.
He's the offensive coordinator.
So
yeah.
everybody, and I heard a lot of people talking and like gambling analysts are like, because they're like, what? How does this affect this team? Everybody was curious. They end up winning, right?
Even though he talked crap about the Raiders a couple weeks ago, saying the Raiders look like crap.
Yeah, but
and
they
then that was the
also-
first game he played.
Also,
against.
though, I think a lot of doesn't any of this weigh on they put in their best quarterback. I mean,
They put Matt Ryan
they
back
put
in.
Matt Ryan
Yeah.
back in.
Which,
who-
by the way, screwed me in a bad because,
sorry, buddy.
because I was like, they're playing the other guy and this Jeff Saturday goofus. For sure, I'm
You were
gonna
gonna
win.
say fella. That's Jeff Saturday fella.
and they put in some Saturday fella, and I don't even know.
Yeah.
My
Ragamuffin?
teasers,
Yeah.
my teasers are working.
I had a bad bet with that one, but so they bring back Matt Ryan to play,
Yeah.
and they end up winning. Now, what's interesting to me though is this and COVID told us a lot about head coaching.
Yeah.
Because the only scenarios that I've ever seen in the entire time of me watching football and even seeing the history of football, where like COVID caused head coaches to be out. Like, 2 days before the game or whatever, and they had to coach with an assistant head coach or like assistants the day of, or like a complete head coach staff.
Yeah.
Like half of the staff was out because COVID.
And other people were calling plays.
And it did
making
not-
decisions, yeah.
But it did not. I watched games where the head coach was out and so a bunch of staff was out and they won.
Head coaches hardly make any decisions game time. It's usually all the preparations prior to the game. The only times that usually a head coach makes the final decision is faking a punt, faking a field goal,
Yeah, you've told us
going
this
for and
before,
fourth
yeah.
down.
Oh, yeah.
That much is usually the only head coach. Everything else is offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator.
Or maybe the final drive, a 2-minute drill or something like that. Like,
Still, that's mostly the
yeah, you're
offensive
right.
coordinator, yeah.
So then now you got a play caller that's never done it before.
Yeah.
And seemingly, from what I've seen, now my whole thing is when I watch this, and the Colts could have lost that game, by the way,
Yeah.
because
The Colts can lose
was it
any
Adams
game.
had
guys.
that drop that they got the ball punched out after a long
Yeah.
so
I think you're right on that.
He didn't
Like,
put two hands when he got into traffic. Which I hate that. Oh, God, drives me crazy.
so one play away from possibly losing, and then there's a different narrative.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure the narrative is bagging on Saturday
Yeah,
for his
Saturday,
bad calls.
the first coach, yeah.
Even though
Well, that's what
I
they
think
were
he just
waiting
stood
to
there.
happen.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what does this do to the team moving forward? How much does the head coach have, like a difference for the team? Long term, seemingly probably more.
I
but
think this is
then,
a
like,
good thing for them because
know.
I don't.
It's
I don't
weird.
Get, I don't get the idea that he's going to go in there and want to do a poor job because his career reflects that he is not
Yeah.
that type of person.
Did they do this? Did the owners do this so that they put themselves in a losing position, like not the best
Like you had
position to
mentioned
win?
earlier, like a Ted Lasso scenario.
Yeah.
Set it up so maybe we can naturally get better picks by putting someone in there who's a better scapegoat at the time.
'Cause there's
Oh,
Or it
man,
could be a GM position where you say, hey, we just brought this guy off the street and we won the game. You guys are not
Yeah.
worth the money you're paying for. I could just bring anyone in
And-
and,
but
get
they-
rid
But
of
that's
you.
not true.
But
though.
but
we-
that thing is, it does happen. And maybe Jeff Saturday told Matt Ryan, because he's an older guy, he knows how the game's played. You pick the plays. Pick the plays that are going to work, that have been working. And the
Yeah,
ones
what's
everyone's
wrong?
more
Tell us what's
comfortable.
wrong here.
Yeah, he might have said,
because
okay,
they should
this
be
works.
winning. At
Yeah.
the beginning of the season, they had as much
Yeah,
hype as
they just
Atlanta
have some
had
injuries.
trash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Taylor's been out for most of the season, so their best running back, the first round pack for most fantasy teams, is out most of the season.
See, that's what makes me believe, like, the coaches as a scapegoat, like when they fired
lot of times,
Frank
yeah.
Wright.
Sinister plan though. When if
because-
that's true, that is so gross.
Because what is Frank Wright? Because if you're saying
That's
Jeff Saturday's not doing
Billionaires.
anything, then Frank Wright's not doing anything as far as like he's not making the
Right.
calls. And like every single play is like a separate roulette spin, right? There's a lot of chance into it. Like,
yeah.
like the play has to go right, things have to unfold, like players have to get open, they have to make the catch, they have
Yeah.
to, yards after
One guy
catch.
has to win, one guy has to lose on every play.
And then once he's down,
Yeah.
then it's the next play. And then I'm guessing the play caller has a cheat sheet. It's like, all right, if we need 5 yards, it's 3rd and 5. I go to the 5-yard play.
These are the plays,
Yeah, and then they pick one. And then really, now I know there's some really complicated stuff where it comes
There's
down
a lot,
to
like setup plays that you're doing in the first half that are setting up plays you're going to do in the second half. That's
And-
going to throw them off.
and you
Yeah.
recognizing weaknesses in the defense and stuff, and that but I don't know if that has to do with like the offensive coach or the so like
for a split second there, I thought you were gonna go full.
He was going to go
like
three-dimensional chess.
autistic person on me and start shutting down and like, I'm like, what's happening? What is he doing?
we'll move on because it's super complicated. But it
I
is
can see your eyes rolling back in your head. You're going to like football football nirvana.
But it's a really interesting story.
It
It is a
is.
very
It
interesting
is.
because you don't pick people off the street to be your head coach. You don't do that.
And
it never happens.
Unless.
Yeah.
And do we see them like now? I'm looking at this game coming up this weekend, and I'm like, someone like popular gamblers that I follow and listen are betting on the Colts, and I'm like, it seems like
I'd
you
go
bet
the other way. I'd bet heavy against the Colts.
Has he said anything
But I don't
one
know.
way or the other?
Are
Has
they
he
playing,
said
are they
like
playing No, they're not playing. Jacksonville's out. Like all the
Jacksonville's
Florida
good.
teams are on bye week this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I know Tua's out, and so is Etienne Jr. That's killing my guillotine league. Guillotine. Which way do you say it? Yeah.
Guillotine.
I always say it wrong.
Guillotine.
Anyway,
A guillotine is what Florida people call it.
Will this, like what we've seen from COVID, and if Jeff Saturday has, like,
If he has
wins
COVID,
out-
Jeff Saturday has COVID.
Oh,
No,
that's
but
very
if-
first.
That's your edge.
Yeah.
but will owners start valuing head coaches less?
That's my opinion on it. Yeah.
I mean, they brought in.
If he wins out, definitely it devalues every head coach that's in the league.
That's a
except for like
stretch.
Bill Belichick.
But it's like you bring in Mike McDaniels, and he's getting all this praise, and he's a young guy, and I know he's like a genius when
But
it
his
comes to
team is
football.
pretty badass.
His team is
Yeah.
badass.
They're good.
It also helps, yeah.
But then it tells me that it's like, how much is it about the coaching, or you know what I'm saying, like schemes and like planning,
But
like
if
that
they
makes a
lose
difference.
Tua, it's different. Like look at the games they didn't have Tua. They didn't play well.
Well, no Tyreek Hill, you're screwed. You know what I'm saying? Like
or Waddle, because think about it, you have to cover either Tyreek Hill or Waddle. That's a hard decision because they're both good receivers.
So it
I'd
just
rather
makes me,
cover Waddle.
Well, it just makes
I
me
don't know, I
believe
just
like
dance.
you have the best players on the field. I know this is obvious, but it never really gets talked about. Like that's what matters. Like the coaching and stuff that may be incremental, but it's like
Well, it's the stuff we don't see. The prep.
players
Yeah.
versus players, and a lot of luck has to swing your way, and that
yeah.
that makes me nervous. Where it's like, okay, well, how much luck is involved in all this?
A lot.
It seems like
There's a lot, but it's also preparation comes
Yeah.
in the week that's coming up to that, for
Yeah.
sure.
But you see all these swing plays throughout the game, and these fumbles, and like just randomness.
Oh, just random chance,
And then
yeah.
it's like, well, if that didn't happen, the other team wins, and then
Right.
we're having a different
like the Bills
conversation.
game against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Why didn't they take the safety when they got it at the goal line? Just grab the ball from a handoff
Wow.
and just
Shoulda, coulda,
That's
woulda.
bad
I know.
coaching.
It was
Yeah.
bad coaching. It,
It
was
was
the worst
bad.
decision. All he had to do is do like Baltimore did this years ago. They had everyone hold their player.
Oh, I remember that.
And for like 10 seconds, and then the guy just took a safety, and the game ended because even if it's an offensive penalty, the time runs out.
Right.
Well,
That's what the Bills should have done. It drove me crazy. I'm like, take the safety. You're up by 3.
How do they not? Because like we're all yelling at this, and I know things happen during the game fast and everything, but aren't like there's a lot of coaches and a lot of people and football players. Isn't one of them yelling like, "Hey, I know what to do here"? Like you're supposed to statistically take the safety, so it's a guaranteed win.
This is my opinion.
Couldn't
that
get
he
there. Was in
wanted
the
to.
bathroom. He's in the bathroom. He couldn't get there.
It's
He
like
didn't want-
we know.
He didn't want the Vikings to get the ball back at all. And there was still a possibility if you do that, you're not going to run 19 seconds off that close to the goal line. So you're probably going to give him with 7 seconds. And with Jefferson getting all those catches lately, you're going to get him in field goal range. That's really scary.
Well, I don't. If you run around the back, like literally dodging players before you get tackled in the end zone, I mean, I've seen players
Yeah,
do that.
they've
where
done
they-
it for 19 seconds, but that's still a long time in football time in a 10-foot
Yeah,
box,
yeah.
a 10-yard box by what is it, 25 or 28 yards across?
You're
Well,
talking about stuff
yeah,
I don't
it's
know.
huge. Yeah.
Well, they
No.
didn't do that, and they lost. So
Yeah.
there it
Such
is.
a bad, yeah. But that was a great game. It was fun to watch. That was
What
the
else
one
you
game
got?
I got.
Let's keep it moving.
For sports, I think that was all I had. Let's go over to nerd stuff.
All
yeah,
right,
for sure.
all right.
Definitely got to talk about Henry Cavill getting replaced as The Witcher. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That
I
Liam
mean-
Hemsworth is going to take over.
And I'm okay with it. I'm real big on, and I'm gonna, I'm gonna tie this into sports.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of everybody saying, "Oh, Tom Brady and Giselle. I hope they get me." Yeah, I don't rooting for people to lose. I'm never
you
a
don't
big
want the show
fan
to
of that.
fail after
So
it?
let's do this. Let's give
Liam,
This is
yeah.
Miley's ex, right? Or no? Was that Miley's ex?
That's a question for
Liam.
her.
Or was he Chris?
Yeah, I can't keep them together. Anyway,
I thought-
let's
Right?
give him
I
a
don't
shot.
know.
Let's give him a run at it, right?
I have no problem with it. And
Yeah.
plus, they're going to do that prequel series with Michelle Yeoh is the one that's coming out on Christmas.
Oh, cool.
They're going to do an Origins one with like the first Witcher.
Oh, okay.
The very first one. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
It's a 4-episode series they're going to do during Christmas.
I mean, like, I liked Witcher. Andrea really likes it.
I really
like it.
Witcher, yeah.
But, like, I'm this way with anything. I can watch any show, Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, The
Nudity.
Godfather. I can watch if The Godfather's 2 hours 14 minutes, I can watch 2 hours and 12 minutes of Godfather, and right before it ends, I can just turn it off, and I'm fine. No big deal.
No, I can't do that.
I'm an elevated
I'm a
human.
completist.
I'm
I
an
have to
elevated
finish
human.
it.
The only
See, now I'm
elevated
do-
humans can do that. I'm just like, I don't care. It's
I'm
just
doing
like,
an
I can write
Andor.
I'm so creative in my crazy brain. I'll just write the ending myself.
What was that elevator crazy, Kanye?
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, wait a minute. Mine's. I got Jews on my elevator.
Oh no!
I love them.
Just don't put the before that. Yeah.
I love them.
Because I'm doing with the Andor. I'm hating watching Andor. There's like
Andor,
the Star Wars show that's on Disney Plus. There's like 4 good episodes.
You're Hodor.
But all the rest are bad. Hold the door. But that's
So
what I'm
you're
doing with
powering
that.
through this?
I'm powering
Yeah,
through it
you're
because
getting a lot of crap for that. People
yeah.
are saying you're too stupid to watch Andor. What do you say to people that say that?
Well,
Well,
the fact that
I'm watching it with my sons. I don't care about this nerd ass stuff.
Yeah, there it is.
No,
Break his Pokeball. Flush his head in the toilet.
I only care if my sons care and they're having fun. And since that,
Your kids like Andor?
no, they don't.
Okay.
That's why I hate it because and that's why I don't want to go through it. Yeah, if I watched it,
I was like, it's really highbrow for kids. I was like, that's pretty impressive. They like
Yeah,
it.
no,
it
they
is.
don't
No,
like
it's
it.
so
That's
bad,
why I don't
yeah.
like it, and I
dry
stopped.
and slow and dialogue.
Like,
don't
I
like
understand
that
what's going
Gollum's
on.
in this new series episodes.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
the only reason why I like it. The one he's been in, they've been okay. The last one was great, but other than that, like the rest of them, there's a lot of setup episodes. It's
I
too
don't
many.
like that it's and or. It's like
No, it's Andor.
no, but it's like to me, it's like
Cassian
and
Andor
or.
is his name.
And or. Like it's and or.
Yeah.
They should have
Yeah,
called
yeah.
it yes and.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for
That's
Mandalorian to come back.
yeah.
That's what my
But, like,
sons
that's what we're
want.
doing too.
They want the
Boba
Grogu.
Fett.
Did they watch the Tales of the Jedi? Did they like those?
Was that the cartoon
The
one?
cartoon ones, yeah.
Nah,
With,
I don't like that. I
You
don't
didn't like?
didn't
I
ask
see. I
about
thought
you,
those
you
were
asked
great.
about your
I asked
sons.
your sons. Yeah.
Yeah, but even that, like,
They
and
didn't like the Count Dooku and the Ahsoka stories.
Count Dooku. Count
Count
Dooku.
Dooku. Yeah.
What the hell?
Show him Count Dooku.
The original guy was
Yeah,
Christopher Lee.
Hey, babe, come in
amazing.
here and look at Count Dooku. Doo-doo.
so
It's Titanic breaking up.
what's next? AJ?
Next thing for nerd stuff. Well, we definitely got to talk about who's your favorite Batman, Tom.
Oh, man, I like gay Batman. He's my favorite Batman.
So you
I'll
like
go-
Adam West?
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale's your
Yeah.
favorite?
My favorite Batman, because I'm the elder statesman here,
Yeah.
I will say it is Michael Keaton.
Michael
It's
Keaton.
old
Mo-
Grayburns.
mo-
I've only ever
Multiplicity?
seen the
Yeah,
Christian
it's
Bale
all-
one. I've
it's-
never seen any other Batman.
So you guys were never
movie.
into the one in the 90s or the animated with Kevin Conroy who just passed away? That
Animated
he's
Batmans
still
don't
my
count.
favorite. Yes, he is.
No, you
What
he
about
still
George
counts.
Clooney?
No, nobody
How
does
dare
that.
you.
If you name
He
if you go,
counts.
who's your favorite Superman? You say Christopher Reeve. That's all. That's the only one you got.
I like
Henry Cavill.
No, Reeves.
I like alcoholic Affleck.
Ah.
Batman.
Barely fit in a suit. Affleck.
Yeah.
What is it with that guy?
What? Ben
J-Lo.
Affleck?
Yeah, how did he get J-Lo again? I
Big
don't get
old-
it.
He
I don't
must
get
have
it.
something. Yeah.
Big old.
You know, they're all crazy. You know,
Yeah.
What are we-
Their
what are
actors
we
are
gonna
all
do?
nuts.
Yeah, they are all
anyways, yeah.
nuts, and
They
it's
all play pretend for a
incestuous and
living. Yeah.
gross. Do they
Yeah.
have kids together? Him and her? No.
J-Lo?
Yeah.
No.
No,
They don't have
he
kids
has
together?
No, he's
kids
got
with the other
Jennifer
one.
Gardner
yeah, Jennifer
or whatever her
Gardner,
name is.
God, it's a mess.
Where
When
they
I
met
think
on
about a
Daredevil.
Hollywood relationship,
Yeah.
I'm like, goddamn messes.
That
Well,
just
why'd you
sounds
ask
like so
us
much
about
work.
Batman?
Well, because Kevin Conroy just passed away, and he was the voice of Batman
Oh.
for the
More
1990s.
sad news.
And now we're gonna play the.
Then we're gonna talk about
I have
Gallagher
a memory
passing
stick
away
here
and
you handed me.
Smashing
It's got a
Pumpkins or-
montage of dead celebrities on it. We're gonna play now.
Let's watch the lady jump out of 9/11.
Oh my
Freeze
God.
frame it. Freeze frame it.
Why are you
there
bringing
she
it
is.
up?
There she is.
I thought we were going to talk about the. Oh, no, I'm not going to go there.
Oh, if you got anything else
Yeah.
that is upcoming shows?
Well, we can
I was
talk
gonna,
about Gallagher
I thought you were
dying
gonna
too.
bring up the fact that they teased that Margot Robbie was going to be
in,
the
Pirates
new
of the Caribbean,
Pirates,
and they
then
canceled it.
they
Yeah.
pulled it right out from underneath her.
Oh,
really?
man.
Why?
I don't know. She doesn't know either. She said apparently
Yeah.
they don't want to do it anymore.
They were like, no, we're done.
They were going to replace her instead of having Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp doing
as
it.
the
Have
main
a female
character.
pirate
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
Bonnie
Yeah.
and Bonnie. Like a
and then decided at
Yeah.
the last second they didn't want to.
man. The only thing, but like, it's hard for me to watch movies with her in it unless she's gonna be,
naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I get older,
seeing
I
Wolf of Wall
find
Street,
as I
you're
get
like,
older, I
eh.
find much like my dad, I would only want movies where there is
Some kind of nudity.
80s stuff. No, I've grown up a little bit, and this is something. This is news to Tom. Now, when I watch movies, if there is female nudity, I'm okay with them not having the bottom part. I'm okay with just some nice 80s boobs.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Before you
Well, then
used
you
to
might be looking forward to that movie Babylon that Chris Crespo was telling us
a lot
about.
of boobs in that.
Yeah,
I think,
Margot
I
Robbie's
think
in it too, yeah.
she's at least dressed scantily clad.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if there's full boobage or not.
I just
but-
think it breaks up the fantasy. Like if my mind's gonna wander because there's some far-fetched fantasy on the screen, you might as well throw some boobs in there to pull me back in.
Are they going to do more Batman series, movies?
Yeah, but they're doing them with.
They'll never end.
They're doing it with old Twilight.
Yeah.
Oh, is that going to be the
Pattinson?
new?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah,
Batman.
I didn't see the new.
I didn't
like,
either.
Dude, it's good.
I heard it's really good,
It's
but I also heard it's
fantastic.
lack of action. I heard it's a lot of dialogue and it's sad Batman.
I'd
It's
be
sad
into it
man.
if it wasn't 3 goddamn hours.
I heard it's
a
sad
detective
man.
story. Yeah. Watch it on HBO Max. You can watch it at home and you can take your time with it.
Are there any boobs?
No.
No
But
boobs.
Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
Lenny Kravitz's dog is in there.
Daughter.
Check it out. It's awesome.
Is it a
Dog's name
series?
is
Barco
Dreadlock.
No,
Kravitz.
it's a movie. But it's really good. It's basically more of Batman as a detective instead of just an action hero like he's been in the past movies.
You want to know what I've
It's
started?
on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
you
is it
can watch
called?
The Batman.
The Batman. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not
I didn't know
Batman.
that.
It's the Batman.
Yeah.
Is
You
it,
know what I've started doing? It makes my wife mad. When
What?
we get done with a show,
Don't you do it
I'll
with the
go.
Ohio State?
No, when we get done with a show, we'll watch it. She'll look at me and I'll go, "It stinks."
John Lovitz,
It still
really?
holds up. It still holds up. Try it. I want every man listening to me tonight. Watch something with your wife. Hold your opinion to the end and just sit there and go, "It stinks."
See, I really, my wife
So
loves
fun.
Pride and Prejudice. I hate it so much.
Try
I'm
my
definitely
trick.
going to do it next
Try
time.
my trick. It still holds up. And then everybody thinks of the critic. Remember his little son? How cute his little son
Yeah.
was? That was a good ass show.
All right, EJ. What do you got coming up?
Nothing, because I'm just a
Okay.
dumb old man. I got my son's jiu-jitsu tournament that's weekend. That's all I'm
Okay.
doing. And definitely, if you get a chance,
You
do
should go and enter the
do-
dads.
No
the
way, I'll get my ass
jiu-jitsu
kicked.
dads.
I'm afraid. Like his sensei is a guy like my size, and he's
big boy.
yeah, but he's in shape, and he would
Yeah.
destroy me. I'm scared of this man. I'm
I'd
not
love
scared
to
of
see
very
Big
few.
Sensei beat you up.
I'd love to see him flush a Pokeball down the toilet.
Oh, he could definitely do it. You guys would struggle to do it, but yeah.
So
Definitely got to go to my wife's
Yeah.
convention, MyCon. Yeah.
MyCon?
Yeah. Look up the website.
It's
Mystic.
or Mystic
Yeah.
underscore.
Mystic-con.com.
Yeah,
it's
Mystic-
on March 18th,
Screwed that up.
2023.
Why is it called Mysticon?
Because it's the company that she started for the business. So it's like Tom and Dan Media for the show.
Mystic
Yeah.
Con.
Okay.
Mysticon.
Yeah.
All right, EJ. Good job.
Thank you.
We're
Sorry,
starting a
sorry I
con
made you guys
artist.
mad about Pokemon and all that stuff at the beginning.
Pokemon.
Oh.
Well, I was trying to do it for him.
I
he
bet
doesn't
you
get that.
most dads in Florida call it Pokemon.
Because there was a special raid on Sunday, and there was like 60 people in the area
Where?
over by Circus Olay because they have the one gym's there.
Circus Olay.
Yeah.
Purveyor of tacos and burritos, the old Circus Olay.
Do you keep that ball in your pocket at work?
Yeah,
and
so
then
it vibrates. It vibrates next to his tiny, sad gray
So if I put it
genitalia.
right here, like, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing that wakes up his tiny, gray, sad genitalia is every once in a while a Pokeball will go off. There's a Snorlax out the door. Hit the button.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right. That was mean. Extra mean today. Good job, bud.
I'm the only guest you guys could be this mean to. It keeps coming back. Everyone else would quit.
Who else we been mean to?
Seth's the only one that you kind of.
We're mean to Seth.
We're really mean.
You're really mean to Seth.
I said on a show, and my
But
wife
he's got
said
a
I
better
shouldn't
life.
have said it. I said on a show, and
He's
Andrea
rich
goes,
and ripped.
Yeah.
Andrea
But
looked
he
at me.
said, Seth.
We were listening to it one time, and it was like a couple times Seth was, last time Seth was here, I turned to him and I'm like, "You are so stupid." And Andrea's like, "God damn." And I'm like, "You're right. That's mean. I shouldn't say that."
See, we could do it to EJ because he played football and doesn't care. He's used to the
No.
bullies.
What are you
You
gonna do?
got Pouncy over there. You're screaming the N-word at him. And then Seth, he thinks he's better than all of us, so you can never really hurt his feelings because in his mind, he's better,
Yeah.
richer, more ripped.
He knows at the end of the day what he goes home to and his bank
Yeah.
account. He's fine.
Whether that's the reality or not, it's that he believes it to be the truth.
Right.
So therefore, we can never hurt his feelings because he always thinks he's better.
Yeah,
Do
but that
you-
mental illness with the freaking like
Yeah, the hypochondria.
hypochondria? I couldn't do that.
That's
Oh,
rough.
Oh man.
I mean, I am one. It's hard as it's
I'm
hard.
close, but like it cuts off really quickly. So
All right.
You are very depressing today.
sorry, it was a lot of death in this episode. Sorry.
We should do.
But it's what I think about every once in a while, like especially because it was all at the same time. Every time I go to the movies, I come out of a movie and it's a person that I love died.
Oh my God, that's
It
a
never
movie.
failed. Like,
That's a movie.
I go to Wakanda for. I went saw Suicide Squad.
How
and then
was
frickin' Chadwick
Wakanda?
Boseman.
Awesome.
Wakanda Forever is good.
Yeah,
It's
did
a
you
gut punch at
did you
the
get
very
emotional? I
beginning.
heard a lot of people. It's like heavy.
Twice.
Do they do a lot of
Beginning
like?
and end. They got me both.
Do they
twice.
use him in the
the beginning?
Don't spoil
scene,
it. Yeah, don't spoil
The
it.
beginning
Don't spoil
scene is them dealing with it. I'll
Okay.
just
I enjoy-
They cut it. They
They've
get
said
to
that.
the point.
They've
Chase
said
right
that.
again. It's the opening scene.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it's fantastic. Like I took
Have
my
you
kids.
seen the first Black Panther with
He's
your
seen
boys?
all of them.
Yeah,
He's-
It's
what
good.
are you still watching all of them with your kids?
We got to the point where one before
Like Infinity War.
the Infinity War.
Okay.
Um,
So you're at Thor Ragnarok.
yes, yeah.
See, that's my favorite one
We're
out
at
of
Ragnarok.
all the stuff that's come out.
The problem is for my boys, they got to be ready to watch a 2-hour movie, and now entertainment's so it's
so small. Oh
that-
yeah, believe me.
So-
iPad and TikTok.
So
and
they
all
don't
that
really
stuff, yeah.
get super excited where I'm like, hey, let's watch this movie because in their minds it's like, all right, I got to commit in 2 hours to this thing, and I think that's
Thor
gonna be harder and
Ragnarok
harder.
is definitely a fun watch. It's my favorite one of all the Marvel movies.
Well, I just want to get to the point where all the memes of the people disintegrating into.
Oh, that's at the end of
I know, yeah.
Infinity War. Yeah.
I know, but then I can understand the meme.
We're waiting on our guest, right?
Yeah, she should be zooming.
Yep, I got it set up.
Well, that was fun, guys.
Thanks again, dude. Zarnagard.
Yeah, I missed you guys because I went and saw Black Panther on Friday, so I missed you guys' episode.
Oh, right on, man.
Yeah, we went like at 9:30.
It's pretty long.
That
People.
was the best way to do it, though. It was like it wasn't packed.
Oh, really?
And I had the kids, and it was there was a lot of people in there for a 9:30 morning on a Friday.
Oh, I thought you meant at night.
No, in the morning. So.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man.
Definitely. If you get a chance, go see it.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks again for doing it, man.
See ya.
I'll see you guys this weekend.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll see you this weekend, man. Be good.
Did he say the second or this weekend?
This weekend.
Oh.
I thought.
I thought he said the second.
Oh.
I think he said the second.
Oh. I got bad hearing. I had my headphones on. You guys didn't, so trust yourselves, not me.
My headphones are on.
Oh.
That's why I asked, because I couldn't hear. I
Yeah.
was like, did he say the second?
I thought he said this weekend. This weekend.
Well, I know
This weekend.
what
This
Saturday
weekend.
he has that jiu-jitsu competition, but maybe Sunday? I don't know. I'll verify.
Oh, Jordan emailed me.
Man, he must really feel bad.
All right.
I'm excited for Kiki Palmer to be hosting SNL in December.
Kiki Palmer. Oh, it is. I thought they'd do like a passing of the torch type thing, Christine. That's cool. Yeah, I enjoyed Black Panther, and that's one of the ones I just kind of fast forwarded through here, and I found myself not really fast forwarding through it, just watching it because it was
haven't
really
seen
good.
it.
Yeah, it's good.
I was thinking maybe, is there any category we need? We could shoehorn in that snoozer segment.
Loser,
into
Pigman
some sort
snoozer.
of
I'll have to look at our categories.
end of the year awards. I don't know. Can make it fit if we needed one more.
Where do we want to put Zarna?
Wednesday 3.
Norm, I never have.
Because tomorrow we need to finish Wednesday before we leave to Deltona.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
We are waiting for a comedian known as Funny Brown Mom. Her name is Zarna Garg. She has 2 shows Friday and 2 shows Saturday.
Next Friday and
it's
Saturday.
Next Friday
Yep.
and Saturday at the Improv. She is from India. She is an Indian immigrant mom, stand-up comedian. And she made her way to New York, and the rest is history, it appears.
I did not see Lunel on Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, but I bet that was good.
Oh my God, I bet they had to do a bunch of takes because I will watch the shit out of Lunel on Wheel of Fortune. I will watch that. She had Pat blushing. Oh my God. Did Pat get into some trouble recently? Or are those just stories they drum up to get you to, like, it seems like he always has, like, some sort of targeted tabloid story about him, but none of them are really true.
who?
Pat Sajak.
Oh yeah. You know, I'm reading Zarna's story here.
Mhm.
Has there been a successful stand-up comedian that was born rich or born a celebrity already or 2 celebrity parents and that made it?
Pauly Shore.
Yep.
Guess they weren't celebrities, but they were known in the industry.
Is Pauly Shore known for his movies or his stand-up? Because I would say he's known
What about
for his movies.
Wayne's brother?
But the
'Cause
Wayne's
you're-
brothers came up together. There's not really a son.
They grew up poor.
No, but not.
No, Rich. I'm saying
but
the
I'm
opposite
saying
because
I know, that's what I'm answering.
But
Yeah,
did
The
Sean?
Wayans brothers
did
didn't-
Sean grow up poor?
They all did.
Nah, I don't know. I mean, once Keenan Ivory, I think, started making money, the entire dynamic of the family changed. No, I could be completely wrong on that, but I would imagine that.
Basically, I'm saying is like, do you need somewhat of a rough life, an upbringing to hold that dark or that comedy, the whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like to
I don't
give
know.
you that sense of humor that you need to be a stand-up. Because I'm like reading her story about like she's basically her mom died at 14.
No, I don't think so because like look at Bert Kreischer. I don't think he has some sort of dark, like terrible
And not dark, but like I guess
thing that he had to overcome other than alcoholism and
But
you know
what he
having
had to
a normal
overcome.
family.
What he had to overcome though is becoming a stand-up.
There definitely has been. There was somebody on the Honeydew that I was listening to not that long ago that he grew up pretty well off and he's doing just fine. But I can't think of who it was.
Lachlan Patterson.
As a stand-up?
Yeah.
Doing just fine, I guess. I mean, I'm talking, well, I guess Zarna, you know, she's touring and stuff. I guess
Carmen.
Headline.
Carmen, our friend Carmen.
Yeah, but she had to hustle. What I'm saying is like that hustle to make it coming up. And Carmen lived in her car, got a car. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
Like,
I mean, I was thinking about parents. I don't think her parents are crazy.
no, yeah.
They might be.
Well, he meant like growing up with money, right? Growing up
Yeah,
wealthy,
like
with a wealthy family.
Growing up, the silver spoon in your mouth type of deal. I feel like harder to grind out a career in comedy growing up like that because
I bet you some of the newer influencer-styled comedians would have a different background.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the way they're entering is different.
Yeah.
So it would
So they don't
lead
have
me to
enter- yeah.
believe that because the roadmap is completely different.
Some of
like
those
the
are probably,
Pauls,
yeah.
I don't know anything about the Pauls, but let's just say they did comedy. There's a version of them on TikTok, right, where they're like, this guy has
Yeah.
40 million people following him on TikTok. He's known as a comedian, but he's an up and
All
coming
right,
TikTok.
there's
dude.
a whole article about it.
I got her.
Comedians who were born filthy rich. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, save that.
I don't know why I just
Robin Williams is the number one
Yes.
person.
Yeah, I
I forgot that
but
he
he was
grew up.
like depressed and stuff. So I think that his
Here we go.
brain.
Let's see. Hey, Zarna, can you see us?
Hello, hello.
Hello,
Hey,
hello.
how's it going?
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Thanks for the time. We appreciate you being here.
Are you kidding? Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No,
No problem.
worries. And do we need to do anything else, or you just want me to hit it? 'Cause
Yeah,
I
we
can
just hit it. Yeah.
All right. Here we go. In 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. So we've got a comedian that's going to be at the Improv November 25th, 2 shows on Friday, November 25th, 2 shows on Saturday, November 26th. And she's got a super fascinating story that we interviewed a lot of comedians on this show.
Yeah, we do.
And I think Zarna has the most interesting background that I've read so far.
Absolutely. And we're going to have her tell us all about it. Joining us via the magic of Zoom is Zarna Garg. How are you, Zara?
Hi, namaste. Thank you so much for having me. You guys are so amazing.
And I apologize. I called you Zara the second time and Zarna the first
You missed
time.
the end the
But
second
it's important. Now, I got to be on record. It's important that we are upfront and honest when we make mistakes, because I know Tom would give me the business if I didn't call that out. So I have to call that out. I messed up the name this time.
So,
I didn't even catch it, if that helps you.
Well, so Zarna, tell
Yeah.
us about how you started, because I'm reading your bio and it is super interesting. And I don't feel like we see a lot of stand-up comedians at least come through the Improv with a backstory like yours. So tell us how it all started.
Well, I mean, listen, I started the way all normal Indian women do, dreaming about a career in stand-up comedy. You know, this is the Indian woman's dream. Not. Absolutely not.
Right.
I mean, I was a stay-at-home mom for 16 years with 3 kids. And I was really struggling to figure out what my next act would be. I'm a licensed lawyer in New York. And I couldn't have gone back to practice law because I was really bad at it. You know, I learned early on, like when you're bad at something, like just no. You know,
But you went through law school. I
Yeah,
can't
but-
imagine
how
just
bad
stopping.
could you be?
But you're smart, obviously. I mean, you're a hustler, you're a grinder. You know, I mean, look at what you're doing now. So, did you enjoy law? I mean, how does one know that? I mean,
Well, I enjoyed it, but I don't think my clients did.
Gotcha.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
I would take my own client to the judge and I would be like, Your Honor, my client has robbed the liquor store.
Just gonna tell you straight up, yeah.
And the judge himself would be like, Do you know you're the defense attorney? I was like, But you and I both know he did it.
right. I'm an honest
You know-
woman. Yeah, I got to tell the truth.
So after a few times of that, even the judge was like, maybe you want to do something else. So I decided to stay home. I was stay at home with my kids. I was supporting my husband for 16 years. And I'll tell you this, 16 years of being home with my kids full time, I learned something. I'm not that into them.
Well, it's a tough job, Zarna. So
It is tough. It's boring. It is. Am I allowed to say it? Am I allowed to be that honest on your show?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We talk about our kids and how much we hate them all the time.
I don't
posted-
even have them because I hate them.
I put it on Twitter.
Listen, you have found the right person and aligning with right now, because I don't just, I mean, the thing is that somebody recently asked me, how are your kids? I'm like, expensive.
yeah.
It's the one thing I know for sure is that they're expensive.
So Zarna, I'm curious though, like when you're staying at home, you're at home, stay-at-home mom for 16 years. Did you, while you were doing like you talked about earlier, you fantasized about being a stand-up. Did you write a lot there? Did you practice? Like, did you?
Not at all.
No?
Nothing. I had no fantasy about being a stand-up. I had no idea this was a job. My kids, who are born and raised in America, you know, I'm an immigrant. I came to America about 30 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But I was born and raised in India. But my kids are born and raised in America. They're all American. You know, they watch me struggle and they're like, Mom, just become a stand-up comedian. And I was like, that's not a job.
Right. Yeah. That's what most
It's
people.
also interesting
yeah.
because most of the time you hear people say that their kids don't think that they're funny, right? So for your own
Oh.
kids to think you're funny
Yeah,
enough to be a stand-up,
yeah, but
that's
I mean,
interesting.
I-
Yeah, they must have recognized something,
Yeah.
Zarna, because my
Well, their friends love hanging out at my house. You know, I'm constantly yelling at the kids about something, and it's always funny. It's made with a lighter touch. You know, I'm like, what are you studying? What's your report card? No one's going on any dates on my watch. So my kids actually, then the three of them ganged up on me, and they're like, I believe, honestly, in hindsight now, I believe they did all of this just to get me out of the house on nights and weekends.
Yeah, because that's when you're most of the time you're gonna do
Because
it.
I think they were like, if we can succeed at this, she's gonna be out every minute we're home.
Well, okay, let's move to that part, Zarna, because we all know becoming a stand-up is, going back to the grind. That is the ultimate grind.
It's very difficult.
And that doesn't even ensure that of any success. You could grind it out for 20 years and do every open mic you can, and that doesn't guarantee anything. So there's talent, there's perseverance, a lot of that. So where do you even start, and then where do you start gaining traction?
Well, you start like all normal comics in the basement of a Mexican restaurant, which is where I started. Somebody told me there was an open mic, and I showed up there, and I didn't know what to do. I'd never even watched a show, let alone considered myself doing it. But because my kids challenged me, 16 years, I'm like, you should try something new. You should try something new. Now they were like, oh, mom's too scared to try something new. And so I showed up at this open mic, and I asked the booker, the lady running it, I said, what do I do? I'm here now. And she said, go up on stage and just talk for 5 minutes, whatever you think is funny. So I went up there and I did what I love to do, trash my mother-in-law.
There you go.
So you didn't have any material? You're just like improv, basically?
I didn't even know what material was. I got up there and I looked around and I was like, white people do this?
Right, exactly. Oh yeah, and make a lot of money.
This is a job?
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Like, what? My mind was blown. I was like, this is what? So I just, I went all out. My mother-in-law, whatever. And the audience, the other comics, they had so much fun. I came off the stage, and the lady who ran it, she said, you're so funny, but you don't have jokes. So I came home and I did what I always do, is immediately Google what is a joke.
That's what we do. I've been doing it all morning.
Yes.
But you know what's funny is that, like, are there a lot of, like, have you gone back and ever tried to do the same style of comedy that you sort of cut out and made here that's successful? Have you ever gone back and tried to do it in India, or would it not translate culturally? Where does comedy stand? Like, if we lived in India, is there a comedy scene? Is there a
stand-up scene?
It's very new. It's mostly for the men because they don't listen. Think of what a woman comedian is going to make fun of. Her husband, her kids, like a married woman like me.
And that's a no-no.
Can you imagine? Indian men are the most fragile. They have more fragile egos than oh my God, Putin and Trump, step aside. Bring the Indian nerdy guy out.
So it wouldn't, like, your brand of comedy. Do you ever get backlash from Indian men?
All the time. I get hate all the time because who do you think you are? You become American now, but wait till you come to, they threaten me. Wait till you come to India. I'm not, I'm happy to Zoom.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, let's be honest. I mean, I guess, when you're saying things that aren't popular and when you're not in power, you can get yourself into trouble. But I also think there is a level of bravery to what you do because, I was watching you all morning, and all of us here were watching different clips of you, and some of the things you say, I mean, in other places of the world could be very dangerous to say. And I think it's very brave to do that, and it maybe shed some light on culturally how women just don't get the same shake.
Oh, 100%. But I mean, I'm not brave. I just want to be honest. I'm pretty desperate. I didn't know. I honestly, when you're a stay-at-home mom for as long as I was, and you're living under the mountain of diapers and formula and baby stuff, when you come out of that, you think that everybody is doing this and you're new to it.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. There's a fine line between bravery and being desperate. It's it's like
there are similarities.
Desperation.
I mean, as much as that is a joke, that's not a joke.
So, Zarna, I'm curious too, because you have a gigantic social media following. You got 100 million views plus on TikTok.
Go look her up, go follow her, and also look at the amount of awards and accolades that she's received over the years.
So, when did that start? I'm curious too how that started blowing up, and what did your kids think about that when you started blowing up on social media?
So I started my career in New York City. I live in Manhattan. I've raised my kids here. and everything was going amazing. The big clubs were all backing me. I got my big Caroline's headlining show sold out in a
Nice.
day. Everything was good. And then the pandemic happened.
Right.
I had worked so hard and I was like, oh my God, my mother-in-law is striking again. I literally blamed the whole global pandemic on her. I was like, she will go to any lengths to shut me up.
I love it.
So I was really upset, and I was, sitting around with my kids, and my then 14-year-old son said to me, Mom, I think you should put your jokes on TikTok. And I was like, what's TikTok? Back then we thought it was 14-year-old girls twerking. That's all they did.
Yeah.
That's
That's
what
how
you
it was
said.
marketed. Yeah.
That's why I was
Right?
there.
No one knew. But my son's like, no, Mom, like I'm telling you, if you put your jokes, I said, you know what? You do it. He took some of my jokes, edited them very roughly,
Awesome.
and he put them up. And I just want to say in this moment right now, as a mother, I'll tell you, #believe in child labor. Sometimes put the kids to work. They know what they're doing.
They
I was
do.
like, do it, guys. They were home for the pandemic anyway. And overnight, I had a few million views. Now, when you don't know anything, you think, oh, TikTok is like one of those countries where everything starts at 1 million. One of those countries where one loaf of bread is 1 million units of whatever their currency.
Yeah.
You're like
I
8,000
thought,
pesos.
oh, it's like that.
Yeah.
And my son is like, no, Mom. And then he showed me his account. He's like, I have 20 views.
Oh, mic
Mom
drop.
shut him down.
Yeah, Mama just dunked on him.
So that started a journey. And what happened is that I do a whole bit about how I've never said I love you to my husband. And I haven't. And like we love it. We like each other. Okay, let's just start with like. We like each other. It's only been 23 years. We're figuring it out. And that joke resonated with people all over the world.
Sure.
Because when you live in America and you watch American pop culture, you assume everybody is always saying I love you all the time to people.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and that joke just popped open this whole can of worms about how different we are, but also how similar we are
We are, yes.
in other ways.
So
And it kind of launched my whole TikTok
That's
journey.
awesome. That's really, really cool. Do you enjoy it? I mean, now that you are doing it, there's a difference in being successful at it and actually enjoying it. I find that I'm not. It's a chore for me, and I got to remind myself. Are you getting better at it? Do you enjoy it?
First of all, Dan, I don't believe that because I can see the smile. Like that's not a man who is like dealing with this job as a chore.
Well, I love this
Unless-
job, but social media is hard, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
social
grind.
media. Oh, well, but look, like all successful people, I am too drugged out.
Yes.
I lean on a lot of drugs. That's what they're there for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love it because it brings me in direct one-to-one contact with my audience. Because I'll be honest with you, the gatekeepers of this industry
Mm.
don't really care to support somebody like me.
Right.
That's just a fact. I have auditioned for roles where I've crushed everything, every festival audition. I've crushed it all and I don't get invited.
Right.
It's just what it is.
And it was for like an
Yeah.
Indian woman, right? And then they're like, yeah, it's like sometimes there are things like that where it's like it's just like you can't, like you said. I'm glad you brought up the gatekeeping aspect to the business and stuff like that because a lot of people deal with that.
Yeah. Oh, everybody did. And now I tell every comic that I know, I don't deal with them. I deal with the clubs because the clubs want to do business. And I'm here to do business.
Yeah.
They know that my audience comes out in big numbers. Wherever I go, I sell out because my audience knows me one-on-one. When they see me, they think they're seeing their aunt, their neighbor, their mother, their friend. And thank God for social media because otherwise I would never have this career. It's a fact. Like the late night shows, you think they're going to put this on?
Right. Well, they should though if they want to stay alive. I mean, that would be my
No,
answer
but,
to them.
Yeah.
But they're finding out like they're not happy with the social media crowd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They
Right.
don't love that social media people exist.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of there's a lot of tension there. So, but I use social media and I don't overthink it. It's exhausting, but it's easier if you're not overthinking every move. Just put yourself out there. Just what your honest, authentic, raw self is, just put it out there and trust that the person who's going to connect with you will connect with you and find you.
I love that.
As long as it's real, right? It's
Right.
like if it's real, people will recognize it's real.
Like this connection, like I'm really vibing with you, and I think everybody here likes
Yeah.
you because you are so real. Like I don't know where you're at, but I'm just gonna get even more real. And for those of you just listening and not watching, you got plants in the background, and Tom, tell me you're not staring at her plants like crazy
No.
because
No.
this guy is a plant man. He does he's grafting them, he's taking the seedlings and putting them in the beaker. And are you a plant lady as well?
I'm not a plant lady except for my Zoom background.
That's a great answer.
Sarna,
That's a great answer.
we noticed that your show is all ages, and
Oh, I love that. Oh, God, I'm glad you brought this up, Tom.
And
Thank
I'm
you.
Well, one of the shows, not all four.
Okay,
I've
one
show.
fought them enough to get one all ages.
That's cool though. So do you have to fight the club sometime to say like, hey, no, I can do an all ages gig?
I can do it. It's not me doing it. That's the issue.
Right.
You know why the clubs don't want to make it all ages? You know that.
Money.
the
Yes.
drinks.
Yeah, the
Drinks,
drinks.
yeah.
It's the drinks.
Yeah.
So as a mother of 3 kids, especially teenagers, there's no reason why teenagers cannot be in my show.
I love
There's
that.
no reason why families cannot come together. And I fight the clubs everywhere I go. I go, let the family. When's the last time people have gone out and laughed with their kids, laughed out loud at a live event?
I've never
When's the
laughed
last-
with my family. I might have to come see you and bring the. I love what you're doing though, because again, Tom is a big fan, and I am too.
Yeah.
But like I know you love it when people are absolutely doing something that's never been done.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
that's
don't
great.
see many Indian ladies rolling through town and doing an all ages comedy show. That is a rarity.
Yeah.
I did, and I'm the only one of my kind on this whole planet Earth. But it happened by accident. I didn't know that I was blazing a trail. People tell me now you're a trailblazer and all. I'm like, no. I am not blazing anything. I have no dreams. Martin Luther King had a dream. I have bills.
Right.
This is desperation.
It's business, yeah, this is the desperation business.
This is realizing how expensive 3 kids are after you gave birth to them.
in New York.
So Zarna, I want to ask you because I read in your bio and you grew up tough, right?
Yeah.
In India.
You had to do some stuff.
And I'm curious because I talked to other stand-ups that had a tough upbringing and it made them a tough person.
It
and
shaped them.
And it shaped them into the perfect comedian because they can handle anything. They can handle bad rooms. They can handle bad clubs.
People
they can
not
handle,
laughing at you is the least of your worries.
Yeah. They're just tough individuals. And I feel like your upbringing made you tough. But then your kids are now growing up in the United States, I imagine, because of your success, an easier life. And do you find it like... How is that? Because I'm constantly searching, because I have 2 sons, 7 and 8, ways to make them tougher in a life that I've created for them that's pretty easy. And so it's hard to manufacture like adversity, right? Because it's like they have AC, they have a good life, good schools. It's
TV, iPad.
They don't have any. They don't go through that much adversity, so you have to manufacture it. I'm curious to what is your take on that and making your kids as tough as you.
Well, first of all, Tom, congratulations. 2 sons, amazing. Thank God. You know what I mean? You could have been stuck with a girl, and like, what would be the purpose?
Yeah, I got the girl. Oh,
You
man.
got the girl.
Oh,
Oh,
Daniel's
I'm
got
so
the girl.
sorry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she twists me up, man. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, they work. I know how the girls work. So I hear your question and I make jokes about it. Like half my set is making jokes about the soft American kids.
Okay, all right,
I
great.
gotta go to this.
Oh, my kids are so soft, Zarna. They're
You should come
marshmallows.
live with him for a week. You'll have so much material.
It's almost like they're as soft as a snowflake. That's a good analogy. Write that down, Sam. All right, sorry.
I mean, they probably are. My kids, they're so woke. You would think they all came from Brooklyn. Everything I say is offensive. It's wrong. It's racist. I'm like, if I just mention a race, like, oh my God, my mom, you stop. So it's a problem, Tom. I don't think there's an easy answer. The hard and real answer is that in order to teach these kids, you have to live that austere life yourself. Like you have to give up your AC and you have to give up your Starbucks and all of that, and that's not happening.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we're
I mean,
just
this guy
gonna make
gets a
fun of these
smoothie. He gets a smoothie every day
Yeah,
made
yeah,
by
yeah.
a teen boy.
Yeah, you can see that's the problem. The hard answer is that we should be making our own smoothie and growing our own whatever.
Yeah.
But that's not happening. So we're just gonna like medicate them and hope for the best.
Wow, man. Oh
Yeah,
my
it's-
God.
it's-
Mic drop again.
It's almost impossible because Zarna, you did grow up rough, right? I mean, you had a rough childhood, right?
Yes, I did. I mean, life, it's rough in American context. Most people in India will be like, okay, this is life in India. I
Right.
had my mom passed away suddenly when I was just about 15, and my dad decided the next day that you need to get married. Like he literally said to me, I was the youngest of 4 kids, and he literally said to me, I'm done parenting.
The next after
just
your
done.
mom died, the one day later.
Get
when
over
you-
it.
I mean, you're.
Grow
I mean,
up.
This is
I think-
it's
I
called the
think he
Andrea Dennis
broke
story.
inside his heart. Like honestly, I think he broke too, because his wife passed suddenly. But I will tell you this: that if I had a 4th kid myself, I would probably throw them out of the window during the pandemic.
It's an honest
I
answer.
get it. I get the frustration. Like when you become a parent, you realize how hard that journey is. And I was the 4th. I think my dad was just like, I can't take this anymore. And I do somehow understand and relate.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, but because of that,
Yeah.
you had to learn how to hustle,
Yeah.
and I feel like that all played into the fact that when you decided, hey, I'm going to take a shot at being a stand-up, that the work ethic it took to become a successful stand-up came naturally to you. Would you say that's true?
Yeah. I mean, I love to work. So that's just whatever I do. It doesn't matter as a stand-up, as a mom or whatever. Like also I was a mom for so long. With what nights and weekends and all, we worked throughout. Any mom will tell you there's no downtime ever. So I was
Right.
kind of used to grinding at that level. And then once I realized, oh my God, this means I can be out for hours and I can be drinking.
It's the
I'm
little,
in.
you'll throw these little things in there. I'm being all serious. I'm not. You throw these tiny little things in there, and then slap me in the face.
I mean, the early shows, you get paid in drinks. I was like, I'm in. I don't even need the money. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's do this. This is different.
Now, Zarna, I'm going to ask you one last question that we've asked a lot of comedians that come in here, and I'm curious that if you've had
I bet she is this the
this
is
the
classic question.
There's the classic private gig question. As the comedians get popular and get more success, they usually get asked to do a private gig somewhere for a
Yeah.
rich person or
Yeah.
or a corporation or something like that, and then sometimes it turns out to be horrible.
Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's a nightmare.
it's
but-
weird. Yeah. Have you have any stories like that about getting hired for a private gig?
Oh, all the time. I get hired for the craziest gigs. I recently got hired to do a family event. Like a large family was getting together in one city. And it was like 300, 400 people that had flown
Whoa.
in from all over the place.
That's a lot.
The event itself sounded fine, except the guy who organized it was a billionaire. So it was his event, and all his wives were going to be there.
Hold
with
on. So
all his multiple different kids, with all their extended in-laws and so the mandate was, feel free to pick on all of them. I was like, how many are there? First of all,
hold
first
on.
of all,
You
you
did
know
a
what I mean?
billionaire's family reunion with his multiple wives and their families. That's weird.
I mean, it was absolutely crazy, but we had the best time because you know what? Guess what? Everybody was scared of him. And I was like, he asked me to do this, so
Yeah.
let's go.
You're kind of bulletproof at that point, and the only
Yeah.
word that I heard that I neaded to hear was billionaire. And then I'm like, well, sign her up. She's in desperation mode.
Were you allowed to make fun of him?
Oh, he said, make fun of me. but I knew to be very careful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're smart.
It's like all the fun had to be extremely structured and make sure that we don't get it wrong. Because
Yeah.
like, I do not want to be on his bad side. Maybe, I listen, maybe he needs a new wife in another 2-3
That's true.
years.
That's what you say, Sean.
Yeah. You can hang up the old comedy. Yeah, that's
You know what I mean? So I was very careful, but I got the job done as I always do.
I love it.
Zarna,
Awesome.
thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
And
You're-
being so candid and
Yeah.
sharing about kind of your journey, because I know we had limited time, but man, we were excited to talk to you because your story is just so truly unique, and we're excited to have you in town in a couple of weeks. Again, guys, 2 shows Friday, November 25th, 2 shows Saturday, November 26th. And what's your social media if people want to reach out to you? Because I know there are going to be people in our audience that want to connect.
Absolutely. I'm at Zarna Garg, ZARNAGARG, on all major platforms, including OnlyFans and Be Real.
All right. I love it.
All right.
Last question, Zarna.
Nope.
How many hosts?
Oh, he said that twice.
Sorry, how many hosts of like open mics made fun of your name? Because I'm sure it happened every night for the first 5 years of your career,
God.
where every host is like, "What?" Because that like Zarna, like, did it? How tired of it did you get?
I mean, it's fine. Listen, this is the thing. And if you come to my show, you'll realize the immigrants are less upset about it than people realize. It's usually the Americans who get more worked up on our behalf. People can mess up my name. They're calling me on stage. They're giving me a moment. I don't get caught up in the other side stuff. Often people refer to me as Greg. I'm fine.
Well, that's because you're tough, Zarna, and I respect your
And
toughness.
tough people, they only sweat the things that need to be,
What do you
sweated.
care?
Yeah, who has the energy to? People are excited to see me. They're excited to bring me up. I'm not gonna get hung up on the name. My own parents messed my name up. It's a whole long story. You can hear about it at the jokes.
There you go.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm not holding it against anybody. Yeah.
Well,
but you guys, this has been the
Thank you.
funnest show. I've done so many radio shows. This is the funnest show ever.
Oh, thank you
thanks.
very
Well,
much.
we'd love to have you back, and when you're in town, maybe sometime, we'd love to have you in person. Come in here and chop it up a little bit more, okay?
Please, I would love to do that.
We'll see
Thank
you
you.
soon, and thanks
Thanks,
again,
Zarna.
Zarna.
Namaste, guys. Have a
Namaste.
blessed day.
See ya. I don't know what that means. What's that mean?
It means like, I don't know.
I just
It's
she's
like
like namaste. I didn't
It's
want to look
just a-
stupid, and I like how you
polite
came in like
greeting.
you what? Hell no, you don't know what it means.
It's like mahalo in Hawaiian.
Yeah, it's just a greeting.
Yeah, she's like namaste.
Aloha.
I'm like,
It's like
yes,
aloha.
Namaste to you.
Yeah.
She was great.
She was
Yeah.
great.
It took her a second to warm up. She was like, "Do I need to?" I feel it.
She's
She's
like, "I
like,
don't know about
"Do I
these
need to
guys."
burn some bits?" So she threw a bit out there, and then she's like, "Wait a minute,
I can just hang out.
I
yeah.
can just hang out." And then she hung out.
I love stories like that because it's
She's great.
It's non-traditional, and I guess you would put her in the category of like social media comedian. Like that's what blew her up.
Yeah.
but
But she's also
Sounds
had.
like she was doing some open mics
Yeah.
beforehand, though.
but she's
so.
also
Yeah,
had
yeah,
to
yeah.
grind. you
well,
know.
what I say by that is like yes, and I think a lot of social media comedians like do open mics to learn and stuff and grind, but they just they get popular at a more accelerated rate because of social media. So
Right.
it's
Yeah,
like
in
they're
front of more faces.
they're
yeah.
grinding out,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden they got 1 million followers in a year, and then you're like, oh, well, that
can't-
would have taken someone 10 years to do.
A decade. Yeah,
traditionally.
I was thinking and writing down other questions, but we're running out of time to talk to her. But I was sitting there thinking, like, if you are an Indian comedian, you would think that you would be wide open to an Indian audience of billions, right? But unfortunately, because you're taking on men and it's not exactly what they
Traditional,
want to
yeah.
hear, I don't know if you benefit from that as much as I would
Well,
like to think you do.
Not in India, but you do here. 'Cause
You do here.
There's a lot of. I mean, obviously you got different nationalities everywhere. It's like the one comedian that sells out the
Russell Peters. you
Russell
mean?
Peters, yeah. Like because of his background, he just attracts a certain groups of different people that just relate to him more.
Like,
and
I'm
then
always
they're like-
fascinated with the
so it
thought
could
of,
be a benefit.
is there a Chinese comedian somewhere that's so well known in China? Like, let's say he's purely clean based on cultural reasons or whatever. He's not Dave
Yeah, yeah.
Chappelle. I'm just saying he does straight up Chinese, not Chinese American. He does Chinese comedy and they love him. Obviously in China, he could put 1 billion people in a stadium or something if it
Yeah,
were
yeah.
possible. when he comes to America, does he benefit at all from any of that?
I'm sure, yeah, because
He does, right?
Yeah, the Chinese people here would hear about him
Right.
through the
but
relatives.
if he
everything.
changed his act to reflect the atrocities that he thought he saw within Chinese government or culture, he'd benefit more here, obviously, than he would in China.
Yeah,
because
then he
those-
couldn't go back to,
Correct.
you have to change the
Right.
material based on the culture.
That's the thing I'm fascinated with is the fact that what she's doing in some ways could be kind of labeled dangerous, right?
Yeah, well, I guess if she went back and tried to do the same stuff, which she probably wouldn't, because
Right.
then it's a different.
I don't think you
culture.
can.
Also, like, there's a thing with like comedy. I feel where you have to say things that people like are not used to saying, or like they say things that shouldn't be said out loud. Or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like if you tried to do the stereotypical like socialism, like dictatorship comedy that you could, you know what I'm saying? Like that was state approved. Just like people, they'd fake laugh, but I don't think they really genuinely laugh, right? Because yeah,
That's pretty good.
it's like the fake
I
criers.
do that a lot here. No,
You know,
just kidding.
you know, you hear the stories, and I don't know if they're real, but about like dictators hiring the criers to come cry in the
Yes,
streets.
that's
and-
real. That's
real.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you know, I don't know how like prevalent it is. If it's just like a couple dozen of people, you know
You
what I'm
would
saying? Like
like
how
to
many
think-
people?
I mean, in my mind, I'd like to think it's happened a couple times. I don't want to think this happens
Yeah.
all the time.
So, but that's not real. So then, what is it? It's
Right.
like it's all just some
Perception.
facade
Yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
propaganda at that point.
Anyway, I love stories like that. All right, let's take a quick
Oh,
break.
we don't have to. I mean, we can
all
keep,
right.
power through.
Yeah, it
for
was
10
power
minutes.
through.
I got, I mean, you had emails.
Yeah.
Throw us another one of those emails before they pile up too much. Again, if you'd like to shoot the show an email, show@tomanddan.com. And I'll take this time to tell you that we stream every single day, and we'd love to have you join us. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/TomandDanLive. Or you can also find our YouTube channel. Just search @TomandDanLive. YouTube has gone to this deal now where just like every other social media, if you own the @ and then whatever the name is, that's your handle. And ours is @TomandDanLive. So I had to do that yesterday because it looks like they're about to roll that out and make it so you can, I don't know, everything morphing into one big like electricity blob.
All right, this is an awkward post office chirp. Hello, show. This is Fresh Gardenias from Twitch. Yep, just did an internet handle shout out, but I'm also known as Mike B's wife. I had an awkward chirp encounter while wearing a Tom and Dan t-shirt. On a recent show, you talked about the t-shirt ideas received when you were creating your Sam shirt. All the love and appreciation to Sam. She's the best. Happy the Rosie the Riveter style was chosen after hearing about what was suggested. Part of my job includes dropping mail off at the post office daily. I avoid all potential chirping whenever I go because other humans are the worst.
Oh, I love chirping at the post office.
And I only talk to the postal workers I see regularly. The other day, I was walking into a mostly empty post office with one person walking out. I was carrying a large bin full of mail, so both of my hands were full. As I pass this person, he points to my shirt and he says, "I like your shirt." I smile and respond, "Thanks." As he passes me, I ask if he is a BDM to touch tips. He obviously doesn't understand the code I just spoke, and he just says, "Oh, my girlfriend likes the girl on your shirt." I pause a bit confused, and then I ask him if he's talking about semantics, Sam. And I immediately regret speaking up.
No, yeah.
I-
What are you doing? You fucking know.
Yeah, you're doing a Tom.
Yeah.
I blurt out, "Oh, Rosie the Riveter." I then promptly turn around and feel like a fool. This kid did not know who Rosie the Riveter was. All hope is lost
Hey,
for
is
the
that
future.
Avril Lavigne?
You know, the girl, the American
Yeah.
girl that went to
Yeah.
work.
My girlfriend likes that girl.
Yeah, my girlfriend likes Susan. Kamala Harris, I like her.
I said, "I like your shirt," and then
Yeah.
said, "My girlfriend likes the
Who
girl
is
on your
that?
shirt."
Hillary,
Which is-
lock her up.
Yeah. And then it's like
Spice Girls, girl power,
Yeah.
whatever.
And then when you
Yeah,
say
whatever.
Rosie the Riveter, because that's who the art is
He
depicting.
thought you were crazy.
Right.
Then you're like, I don't know what
He's
you're
like, Rosie the Riveter. That was a robot on the Jetsons.
Touch tips. What are you talking about?
It's
Yeah.
like that old
bet.
Mitch Hedberg
I'd
joke.
call the cops if you saw me at the post office, told me to touch your tips. I'd call the cops.
Like,
it's the-
excuse me.
It's
No,
the
I'd
old
be a touching man.
Mitch Hedberg. That tree is really far away, which is you say something a bunch of times and the person's like, "What? What is it?" And then you're yelling that tree. You're yelling
Yeah.
something insignificant that doesn't need to even
Right.
be. You know,
Yeah.
it's like when someone says "nice shirt," you say "thank you" and you
Keep
keep
it
going.
moving.
Yeah. So that is actually on her. I feel like because
Yeah.
she kept that going and she didn't need to.
Most of the people I went to the post office today. Most of the people I see in the post office are cleaning man, who always talks about how we are the only two men in Orlando that wear ankle height socks. he makes a point of saying it to me, and I say it back to him. I'm like, I like your socks. He's like, I like your socks, dog. And then also, I talk to the mail ladies, and then every person at the post office is an old woman.
Yeah,
old
yeah.
women love,
Yeah, yeah.
old ladies, old gray-haired, straight gray-haired ladies.
See, being a non-chirper, I've learned certain things and what not to say to start a conversation. And one being, people ask me what I do for a living. I do no longer I say radio or podcaster. I say own a small media company. And
that's too.
Well, because no one asked.
What is it? Which one? A small media company? Oh my God! What do you own? You own Netflix?
No
What do you own? You got Hulu. Your Hulu. That's smaller.
No, when you say small media company and then they look at your shorts and your sandals, they know it's not
media
anything
company.
interesting.
Yeah.
They know that they in fact they think it's a lie and then don't want to ask you about it. So
Wait a minute. Are you the dad from Bareback Films on the X videos? That's Titusville. Titusville's finest.
If you say you work in radio or podcasting, it always comes with a follow-up question. They always ask you more about it. They're fascinated.
Or they go,
Hold on, let me freak
that's
everybody out. Can you
cool.
guys be quiet for just 2 seconds? I'll freak everybody out listening. Ready? Hey, you want to find the best weed in Sanford, Florida? That's all I had to say. Now there's 1,000 men right now like scrambling, shutting their laptops.
I realized I emailed a younger person the other day.
What does that mean? Hold on.
Dearest team, it is your pen pal,
Hello,
Thomas.
young chap.
And
Hello.
I was trying to set up a go-to or some segment. or
Well,
whatever.
why you're trying to set up a go-to
With
with
a
a
young
young person?
And then I
Why don't you
explained.
take a seat?
That's called an encounter.
I explained to them that this was going to be free publicity for their business on the radio, and that did
my
not
God,
mean
that didn't move the
anymore.
needle at all.
That-
Radio?
They didn't even email me back. Which
At this point, I feel like email's old, right?
Yeah,
You
text.
gotta-
Everybody wants you to text them.
You got to
Yeah,
Instagram
you're right.
them, or you got to hit them in the DMs. And like email is oh my God, we just discovered it. Email is for old people.
Yeah,
I
but I
al-
prefer it. I can
do
keep track
too.
of it better.
Yeah, and I can print it out.
like free.
Print
Okay,
as I read my paper emails.
this is an old man thing because free publicity.
Hey, you want to find the best weed? I'm sorry.
Yeah, free publicity is nothing now because
It
everyone has
does-
the internet.
Yes.
Just follow my handle. Yeah.
I wanted to interview some like gamblers that do
Young
podcasts.
people,
no,
baby
no, no.
gamblers.
Young
No, these
gamblers.
I
are
want to
older.
interview baby gamblers.
Like this guy mentioning was like in his early 30s or whatever, but I hit him up on Twitter or whatever, like in like a messenger, and I said like, hey, do you want to do an interview on the show? This is a while back in the pandemic when we were looking for different interviews and whatever.
We got to do more of these quarantine cribs because, oh my God, what are we going to do? The world is ending.
Thinking that for sure, and this guy is not a super, like, I understand, I'm not trying to reach out to Colin Cowherd or something. This person's
yeah.
very small.
Was
that
it Cowhead?
No. This person would essentially, to my knowledge, need the promotion. He's up and coming, right? So he's got smaller followers than I do, right? So
Okay, all
so
right.
I would think that he'd jump at the opportunity to do nothing ghost me.
Yeah.
And I don't think they care anymore. And I don't I don't think it even moves the needle
No.
like it would to me, where someone like that had more followers than me asked like, can I do it now? I'm like, yes. Like, this is free. Like, you're giving me free money at this point.
Yeah, that's
But
why
they don't
most
look at it like
podcasts are never going to get celebrities on them again because they don't move the needle for celebrities.
They have
The
their
only-
own podcast,
Yeah,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
only reason the celebrity is going to be on the podcast is if A, that's their best friend or a really good friend or someone close.
Or you're a celebrity,
Or
too.
B, you're a celebrity.
Or you're a grinder like Zarna that just
Right.
does it all and justifies it like, whatever, it's 25 minutes of my time. I'll fit it
Yeah.
in my schedule, and this can incrementally help me a little bit, and that's all I'm going to do
Yeah,
is
maybe
grind
in a market that
But she
people
had
don't
to
know me. Yeah.
persevere. We didn't have to do any of that. We have to invent a really tragic origin tale. Because that's not stolen valor. We need to invent a real. We had one. We had us leaving radio.
Yeah, but that's
But
old
now we're rich. I'm driving a Tesla around. He's driving me
I
around
know, I
drunk.
know.
I got a Tesla driving me around drunk
I know.
around town.
I'm trying to grift a goddamn golf
Yeah,
cart.
this mother effer's in Hawaii with his
Yeah,
family
I know.
taking pictures of the things and the waterfalls.
I contemplated not putting the pictures. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
no one's going to want to help us now.
I told you I didn't want to talk about my Tesla, but here it is.
Well, that's the only thing we talk about is our real life. So what the hell? Now we're
Fake
rich.
it till you make it.
Yeah.
So, can we fake it being poor again?
We're gonna
It's
have to
already
lie.
out there.
We're gonna have to lie. No, we're gonna delete those shows.
Yeah, well, no,
we'll
can't-
just give them the solid 159. We'll just do the 159 again.
Or what if we have some backstory how we get poor, like, and then
Get poor.
But I'm just saying,
The Tom and Dan story.
like something went wrong.
Oh, it's
yeah.
going wrong right now. We're writing it.
Yeah, but that's
Oh,
getting
yeah,
poor
on
slowly.
brand.
Yeah, yeah.
On brand.
No, but like like real fast, real
Yeah.
poor, like living on the streets. Like, can we manufacture me and you live under a bridge, and we're like, well,
Yeah.
this is what happened now. Our
Yeah,
fa-
look at
our-
us.
Our families left us.
You know that guy that sells the fake weed at Sanford? That guy?
He's my boss.
Daniel tried to massage his shoulders for $3 the other night. Because that's how desperate we are. Daniel wanted some, what is it, Delta 9, Delta 8. He wanted some of the fake weed. Daniel wanted some so bad he gave that man a back rub for $3.
It's in jars, like real weed. What is it?
What is it? Hey, you want the best weed? Ain't that right, Allie? That's my favorite part. When he says, "Ain't that right, Allie?" and he looks at
Can
her
he
and
call her?
she's like, "Why? Don't say my name on there."
Can you call Delta 9 weed?
They're selling it. And
But can
he
you-
says it's the best weed in Central Florida, and then he goes, "Ain't that right, Allie?" And that means they're both liars.
But
if it's not the best.
But people tell me it gets you high. So
Yeah,
is it?
it
Everybody
does.
that I
Is it
know
weed?
that smokes Delta 9 says it's better than regular weed, and I'm like, well, hold on a second. That's not the way this is supposed to work. 'Cause
It can't
I'm
be
going through
better.
the government.
But they do say they're like it gets me
Yeah.
high. I had a conversation
Who's
in a
lying?
parking garage about it.
Yeah, is that guy lying? Is Allie lying?
I believe the guy.
I
And have
believe
you
my
se-
mom.
And have you seen the
Yeah,
updated?
yeah.
Have you seen the updated commercial where he's in the grow house?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
watch a lot of porn. And this guy,
seen
he's
that
got an
one.
updated commercial, and he walks through, and he's like, it's a little different. He's like, hey, the best weed guy. He's like that. It's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
callback.
Well, now he's got a
like, hey, look at my
famous.
farm. I'm rich. I'm so rich. Look how many Teslas I got. And I'm like, this guy's killing it.
And he's selling his
And
fake-
Allie's gone. No Allie in this one. I'm like, oh, man, he got so big, he fired Allie.
And the Sanford cops let you do
Yeah,
it.
they don't give you any crap.
You got a whole store of weed.
Yeah, where they
You
don't
know, I thought it was you had to get all these permits.
And he
stuff.
tells me, he's like, you don't even need a card. Ain't that right, Allie? I'm like, God damn.
Yeah, you can buy them at gas stations.
I'm like, DeSantis let you do it. DeSantis.
I know DeSantis, and I don't think he'd let you do that. if I know him, I know him the way.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
I
and
know
he
him.
for sure saw your
Yeah.
commercial. We all
Exactly.
saw it.
I know he saw your commercial. He probably saw it. When he's in there chewing his teeth, mad at Disney, mad. How can I get Disney?
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right.
That was funny.
Crazy.
That was funny.
Ain't that
Goddamn.
right, Allie? All right.
Hey, we got it again. All right.
Fuck you.
What the hell?
Tomorrow, Patagon.
So what? Where's that go?
That's Wednesday 3 and 4.
Wednesday 3 and 4.
I'll need an intro for tonight.
Yep. Oh shit.
Oh, tomorrow's gonna be chilly.
Yeah.
You gonna wear pants and shoes? Don't do it.
Well, in the evening it'll be chilly. In the daytime.
Yeah, but Friday morning is going to be that's what
Thursday
gets me.
morning. Yeah, Friday morning the high is 64 right now.
But how low? But it's not getting real low. It's not getting to the it's only getting in the 50s, right?
Thursday night 52, Friday night 56.
Yeah. I only wear shoes when it gets into the 40s.
I'll be out at Cafe Da Vinci tomorrow night. It'll be 51 degrees.
Who you seeing?
Tropodelic.
But that's nice when you got a hoodie on,
Yeah.
pants and
Outdoor
shoes.
venue.
Like 51 is nice. Like that's
Where
you know.
Florida people get it wrong, though, you'll have on jeans, a hoodie, right? That's it, and shoes. No big deal. But then you go to a party and everybody's got a fire, and I'm like, I can't stand next to fire.
Yeah, not with a 52.
Not with a hoodie. You
No.
gotta have no
Like,
fires.
52 is the summer for
Yes.
up north.
Yeah,
they're
that's-
like this is hot.
Almost ready.
All right, that's us. Wednesday 3 and 4. So tomorrow we'll do Wednesday 1 and 2.
$16 to 18% THC joint. What would a normal
I don't think the Delta 9 doesn't have the THC. It has some other thing.
THB.
That
It's a different cannabinoid or something.
yeah,
Cannabinoid.
that it just makes
Cannabinoid.
your body feel like it's high, like a THC.
But it causes cancer.
But there's definitely no THC in it because that's illegal. You can't sell shit with
You
THC.
can if it's a tiny percentage.
Yeah. So I don't know what the
All right. Bye, guys.
science is behind Delta 9.
We'll see you tomorrow.